One second, I'll authenticate. I gotta finish chewing on my vitamin C. It's like a pattern right now. Right before I hit record, I chew a vitamin C for no reason. It's just kind of become a weird tradition. Ooh, okay. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a stream. We're here, we're hanging out. Why? You might be saying, are we doing this? You know? I don't know. It was just, I'm excited to talk about games with you guys. We're in kind of, for your boy, a lull period. Not really, we still have Borderlands going on. We have Saints Row coming around the corner, but it is exciting to get excited about what lies within the future. So, that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to have a good old time, sitting back and seeing what Sony can throw at us with their state of play. If you guys have not seen, the basically quick rundown of all this, this is what's hippity happening. Sure, I'll accept cookies, great. We'll do this, we'll do F11, and then we'll do this. Okay. So this is what Summer Game Fest is looking like. We got with this one, starts off this, Sony, State of Play, looks okay. Hopefully got some cool stuff in there. It says, an update to third-party and PSVR games. So we're probably going to be seeing some PSVR games, as well as some other shit. Summer Game Fest, we probably will stream this as well. I'm not sure if we'll stream Geeked Week, because it just talks about like Netflix shows, and I'm not sure. But what we will be definitely showcasing and hanging out with is the Xbox, baby. I can't wait. We got Xbox Bethesda. We're probably going to see some Starfield. And we're probably going to see what all of the developers that Xbox has bought in like 5 years ago have for yield. Hopefully it's something. But ladies and gentlemen, let's fucking go. Yeah, I don't know. I thought today, you know, we needed a break. Oh shit, it's starting. It's starting. Sorry. I'll go here. Is it too loud? It's kind of made to not be too loud, and it's impossible to do that. Oh, it's the Resident Evil remake!
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
Ooh. For me, it is obscenely loud. Here we go. Okay. I think it's a Resident Evil, mate.
Our most sacred body. It begins now.
Ever since the remake of, like, you know, when it's all gross and like they're eating maggots and shit. Yeah, this has just been a cash and real estate farm.
What happened that night? The pain.
The haircut never did it for me. Could just be me, definitely me. I never grew up playing Resident Evil, but
this time, it can be different.
It looks great.
To.
All right, little tease, not much, very little actually, but you know, people who like Resident Evil, ha! And that just sounds unpleasant to the ears, but cool. VR, oh, it's gonna come with a VR thing, neat. Neat. Also, what's good, Lone Syndicate? What's good, Scott? What's good, everybody? Ashley? Jammer? What's good, everybody?
And thanks to Capcom for kicking it off with Resident Evil 4, coming to PS5 with PlayStation VR2 content also in development.
Gotcha, so it'll come with 2 tins.
Now let's get a sneak peek at 4 games in development for PlayStation VR2.
Is there a DLC coming for Village? Well, there was one that came with the other, like as Resident Evil remakes as well.
Let's take a look at
a reboot, I should say.
Well, Ethan, you escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special
These fuckers at Capcom or whatever, these fucking people, they know exactly what they're doing. Damn sons of bitches. Like, well, you know, we made this character because, you know, what if we put VR? what kind of madness would happen? I feel like a lot of people already beat them to it, frankly, but yeah. Also, is this the whole thing? That's kind of dope, dude. Although no, this is the first, yeah. Ooh, yeah, see, when they don't show the reload animations, it's because it's a lot of, like, your hand, like, grabbing shit horribly. Like you break every bone in your wrist the moment you try to. Oh, you can do wield though. That's pretty cool, dude. What they don't show you is the 15 times you're throwing it up and it falls on the ground. You're like, fuck, shit, fuck, god damn it. Could've sworn I grabbed that. Anyways. Also, Ashley's out here doing what Ashley does. We also got Scott says, hello, my fellow Canadian. What's good, Scott? Yeah, Scott. I call you Scott. Yeah, Scott sounds, I think it's right. Maybe Scout, but I'm gonna say Scott still.
Of all people, have the audacity to question me? You, who emerged from the putrid waters of the bayou.
Oh, it's one of these.
To plunder our righteous
Oh!
beings and cut
No, this is a DLC for one of the coolest VR games I've ever seen.
What have you done to ensure the future
Saints
of
and
this
Sinners.
forsaken city? You, who have brought nothing but chaos.
Dude, I would love VR, man. It's just not quite, it's too expensive still, you know? But like,
Death was swallowing this city whole.
I would love this. We would love this.
Resurrected it. It was I who shined as a beacon of hope for
We'd
all.
also get juiced. Like, we'd get physically
Cries out for blood.
decent. We wouldn't get big,
Vow to spill it.
but we would get like semi-healthy playing VR together with your boys.
Song they sing will be righteous.
Oh, dude. If they ever made a Saints and Sinners, yeah, it's a DLC. Saints and...
Welcome home.
Oh,
Tourist.
Chapter 2. So is this a sequel? Yeah, no, it's a sequel. Okay. So yeah, so it's coming out a whole next year. No, it's coming out this year. Yeah, it's coming out this year. Okay, so Chapter 2. I wonder if that's a sequel, if that's just like a DLC that gives you like 30% more story. Anyways. No, the Saints and Sinners one, man, if they ever made that like an open world game where you could like play co-op with at least 2 or 3 people, that'd be where shit gets crazy. Because before, it's kind of like a intimate survival game, Saints and Sinners. But if you haven't seen gameplay of that, it's amazing. Like, it looks so good. And also like triggers things in your brain that's kind of like fucked up. Oh, is this No Man's Sky? How long do you have to play until you get to see any of this? Like 50 plus hours till you get to see a sandworm that you can't really interact with that much? I don't know. I hear people love it now, but I still think it's like a lot of investment for like finally being able to see something. But yeah, fucking Lone Singer called it remake immediately.
There.
Okay, Horizon Zero Dawn VR title. We heard about this a while ago.
I asked you a question.
Lady D, it's been Lady Demetrius, it's been far too long.
Yeah, and awareness through both of us. You're switching with me.
Big boom. I would say big everything. big all of it. Frankly, I think the smallest part of it might be that. Dude, I really, really, really hope that VR can be the future. Like, if it can get cheaper, they can get rid of the motion sickness I hear a lot of people have. They can build like a huge world you can exist in. Dude, like this. But this is usually like one set piece. And you're like, okay, well, that was fun. And then it's done forever, you know? But if you could have like a Skyrim-like experience that's not like clunky as hell, which is what some of the Fallout VR things were. But dude. I don't think that's on me. Is that on me? We're gonna do one of these. We go one step back. We're gonna play. We're no longer live, but hopefully we can see stuff that looks nice. Jeez. Not on you. Oh, it's not on me? Okay, that is just the thing. Okay. I was about to say, like, because we went back one tick. No dice.
Now it is time to climb
Yeah.
into the light.
It's funny because every single like E3 we have things like this, and yeah, you think it'd just be like the people would be like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Fuck off to anyone else who wants to add weird shit."
I hope you enjoyed your first look at Horizon Call of the Mountain, coming exclusively to PlayStation VR 2. We're also happy to announce that a big
Full motion
update
detection,
for
Scott?
Horizon
Yeah.
Forbidden West,
That's a big hurdle,
including
too.
New Game Plus, will be available to download on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 today.
Do you get motion sick? I've never tried. I've never tried VRC. I'm not sure because I've never had any motion sickness no matter how fast I move in any like first-person game, Scott. But I do get fucked up if I'm in a vehicle and I look at my phone for like 2 seconds. I'll get super like nauseous and sick. But like when I'm playing a first-person game or anything like that, I can move as fast as I want. Even if it's like I played on 30 FPS when playing like Titanfall or something, you know, where you're like zapping around, so I can handle the distortion. So I don't know, but I would like to see where I land on that because I know some people get bad motion sickness with VR.
Blog. From all of us at Gorilla, thank you for your continued support, and please stay tuned for more updates to come.
I didn't hear too many things about Horizon this year. Like I was expecting to hear more about it, but it kind of came and it was like it was nice, kind of what we had already, but it was fun. But nothing like you know Miles Morales, where I was hearing people blow up about that game, you know, because it's just like you got powers and shit. It was different, you know.
These past few years,
testament to I think people want gameplay innovation rather than like more story. I think people want both, but
you have to be the kind of man.
Ooh, is this gonna be a VR thing?
Need 2 of those?
Is it a DLC? Just a DLC, looks like. Oh no, next gen maybe?
I'm gonna go,
do your thing.
Also,
you can't just push people around like that.
Just ask for help next time.
Time to bring back the glory days.
what is this? Remastered. Okay, yeah. I was about to say. Oh, coming to PC!
Your clothes on the kitchen floor?
Oh, and we get Miles Morales too? Oh, dude. that's actually pretty fast. The turnover rate for PC is coming faster. I love it. Oh, I seen about this. This is old. We seen this like 2 E3s ago. Little baby cat with Robot Land. This is like literally Love, Death, and Robots. The cool like one that everybody wishes would be just a TV series with the 3 robots exploring like a post-apocalyptic world. Instead, they just give us 1 episode and blue balls all the time. Anyways, dude, what are they gonna do? Is this just like an exploration game? You look lost. Do you need anything? Is that what he said? Okay. This feels like a vibe. I'm not sure if I'm willing to stay in this vibe for like 4 hours, but you know. Yeah. First time in VR must be strong. I'll try, man. I'll be so sad, Scott, if I get motion sickness from VR, man. I'll be like, no. There has to be a way to train. There has to be a way to train your brain to be like, stop it. This is the future, and I want to be a part of it. Okay. Cute. Stray. I don't know if any game has captured my like wonders inside or limbo or Ori.
Explore a mysterious cyber city in Stray, coming to PS5 and PS4 July 19th.
With a PS
PlayStation
exclusive.
Plus extra members and higher can download Stray at no extra cost.
How many y'all buying into this weird, like, complicated as hell premium deluxe thing? Like, goddamn. It's like Sony's response to, not even a response, it's just their version, not even version, it's just like a different take on like, you want our old games? You can have them, but here's 16 tiers. And you're like, why is this so complicated? Oh, is this the what do you call it? Dead Space reboot or remake?
Know that they call Callisto the Dead Moon. Dead. Just like you would have been if I hadn't fished you out of that wreck. So whatever you're holding on to right there, that's your old life. You gotta let that go. Because your new life is entirely in my hands.
Like a modern day Saw?
Give you a chance at rebirth.
Man, the sweat particles. Ooh. Definitely feels like it's made by the guy that made Dead Space, or like the team. Ooh. It's funny because they're remaking Dead
I
Space.
just love that last part.
Maybe they're doing both. Little flesh tendrils.
Gives me chills every time.
Oof! They fucking nailed the brutality, dude. Jesus. The impact, golly. The Callisto Project. Why is it always like project? Like everything just goes to shit. Just call it like anything that's not like a biblical reference to like a horrible outcome, like Tower of Babel or something, you know? Or like Eden. It's like, stop it. Like, how about maybe a good Earth? Something. We'll do our best. Project, something. Jammer says, hey, I watched, dude, man, to me, the werewolf episode, Love, Death, and Robots season 1, crazy, and of course the robot episode. Those two charming. I haven't seen the last season though. I've only seen the episode with the robots, the season 2 of robot thing, or season 3 of the robots. I've seen people play a game that looked like this. This must be their follow-up game. Had like this weird cell-shaded thing. It was like an exploration game. Looks neat. Its art style is enjoyable, but the gameplay is not speaking to me. Kind of looks like a Tony Hawk shooter, which is fun, I guess. That's different. At least it's trying new things. We could shoot things live. That's pretty cool. This is like an arena roller shooter. Shit. Golly. This guy says, I've always wanted to be a kid.
I wonder if things will ever be normal again.
Oof! Anime, baby! Is it a techno arm? It is a techno arm. Okay. Looks a little like, what is it called? Scott Pilgrim versus the World kind of thing. In that kind of vibe. Also, you know, weeb trash. So, you know.
It's not hopeless. I won't let anyone else get hurt. Don't you want science in your corner?
Okay. It looks like it has...
Oh, ew. I'm going to miss them.
Oh shit, you see that? That's some dating sim shit right there, boys. Seems like 5 different types of genres of anime. But all of them didn't have a great budget, but they did it. Which, you know, if you can ignore the scuff, you could probably enjoy it. Looks not bad, actually. It doesn't have, like, Pseudo 51 makes Clunk look charming. This looks like a little, like, but still, could be dope. 3 heroines, maybe some boy love over there in the corner, you know, who knows. But yeah. Losing says, I would play this, but I would watch. Yeah, I wouldn't play this, but I watch. That's every horror game. Same thing with saying, well, Resident Evil to me, it's just nice to watch people experience it.
Coming to PS5 and PS4 next year.
Like to see people like.
Check back in with Capcom for a new look at an upcoming heavy hitter.
For Resident Evil Village, I watched like just a bunch of clips of people reacting to like the horrible moments where like he rips his fucking arm off the hook and everyone's just like, why, dude? And it's the same reaction, but it's always like, thank you. Stupid shit. This is nice. Oh, is this Bayonetta? No. Maybe? No. I don't think they'd give this art style like that. It's like a beat 'em up game.
Looking for strength.
The Street Fighter or something?
It's not like a game. This journey doesn't have a real ending.
Ooh.
Okay then. Hope you're ready to begin. If you want to start off on the right foot in this city, hit the streets. Yeah, hey there, I do this. Never feel loose.
I like the world. Is this like a open world thing, or is this just like an area fighter? If it's like an arena, like an open, oh no! Oh, I'm getting Sunset Overdrive vibes. Okay, It's an indie game, so it's maybe not had the biggest budget, but oh, but then it goes in a classic beat 'em up mode, like side scrollery kind of thing. Ooh. God damn those thighs. Sorry. Oof. The Gorg, as always. They threw me off with them walking around like third person, like and doing uppercuts just on the street. Chun-Li, yeah. Only one that matters. Anyway. No, so it does look like you'll eventually, maybe just like a hub area that's just more generous. So it's like a kind of an open world game, mostly. You'll eventually be going into like these beat 'em up kind of modes. Okay, I don't really, well, yeah, that's cool, very cool. Seems like a leveled up version of the game format that is like the classic Street Fighter genre kind of thing. My boy Ryu got a beard now.
This is our destiny. My secret art.
So it's more like hip hop street kind of vibe. Okay, like a technological future. Okay. Ryu looks full of wisdom now. The beard does something to a man. Will Ryu for a remake them? Definitely. I will get a PS Plus or PS% before then. I must. Oh, really?
That is your first look at Street Fighter VI gameplay. Mark your calendars. It comes to PS5 and PS4 in 2023.
2023. So good bit away still.
Now it's time for 2 indie adventures arriving later this year.
Ashley says, God, man, Hunt is now tame for sure. I'm digging the music. Yeah. So far, it's been fun. I'm also desperate for video games. Like, I just want to be excited for the future. So, yeah. Cute little indie fox thing. I wonder if they'll show one of the, like, the sheep indie game that I seen. It looked really fun, like a village sim, but it looked very unique. Very dark too, like you sacrifice sheep to get like a house or something. And you yourself are a sheep, by the way. Tunic. Isn't that a... Not right. Okay. Ooh! This is a story? Oh,
set out to
okay.
record life at the end of this season. To make it real for people in the future. She asked us about living together.
God damn.
And we asked
people
her
huge
about traveling alone.
When the season turns,
reminds me of Journey.
Only what she saw, what she captured.
Okay.
She carries the sounds of the season with her.
Oh, it's a first-person game? First-person game, maybe? Huh.
The way she listened made you want to tell her everything.
I got to look in her journal. The world was telling her its secrets. I think she even figured out what will happen to us when the season ends. Is it going? Is it gone?
Feels like a trip.
Not yet.
Season. So that looks great. Part of me thinks when I'm playing it though, I'm gonna be riding across the bridge and then I'm gonna turn and then my character's gonna shift entirely left and it's just gonna break my immersion a little bit. But you know, Probably great.
長らくお待たせいたしましたが、いよいよファイナルファンタジー16
This
の
is like
最新情報をお
Okay,
届
Final
け
Fantasy,
する
okay.
日がやってまいりました。最新のトレーラーとともにインタビューなども始まりますので、ぜひそちらも楽しみにお待ちください。今世界には本当に様々な困難があります。僕らゲーム開発者にはゲームを一生懸命作るということしかできません。ゲームというエンターテインメントを通じてゲーマーの皆さんが心の底から楽しめる時間を提供していきたいと思ってます。それでは最新のトレーラーを
Let's go! Ashley says, the Manhunt is a known Rockstar game that was censored mostly due to its brutality with the kills. Jeez. Final Fantasy news finally. Okay. You couldn't read that. Chat was a little more interesting.
What are the dominants? The power we wield. It wears away at our very being. It breaks us. It unmakes us. That its immaculate aspect might reveal itself. The icon.
There's going to be another war, isn't there?
Every day we delay brings us closer to disaster. We must
weird.
move now.
Okay. That's weird. Okay.
The chaos he would wreak would sweep all of Valisthea into the abyss.
That looks pretty dope.
I unite the dominants, that we may bring an end to the strife, and found a new order to see us unto tomorrow. If I take the field, our due
God
will
damn!
shake the island to its foundations.
Okay. I don't know what's happening really, but it looks visually amazing and satisfying. I just see, like 5 million damage and an arm get blown off from a giant, What is that? I don't know. You'll kill it, it's fine. Okay. Alright.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on.
What to do? I am okay. Huh. Okay. So when I first seen this, I just seen the kid who was like eye-beaming the world, and now there's so much more. As most of the time, Final Fantasy.
Child of fate. Awaken. Ifrit.
Okay, freedom. Yeah, as always, Final Fantasy story for a person who has not been baked in it since a child, little much, a little exhausting, a little bit. Maybe people who are in it can also attest to it. It's a lot.
And that's a wrap.
It's like almost as bad as Kingdom Hearts. The lore.
To learn even more about today's announcements. See you next time.
Is that it? Are you shitting me? That was like a solid 2 minutes. Well, that was literally like maybe 20 minutes. Less. Yeah, 20 minutes. Well. Let's I was not planning on this to not actually be a sizable amount of news. Okay. Well, let's go hang out, I guess. We'll find some other thing, I guess, to do. Yeah, let's open up video games. You know what? What we could do, just to change things up, let's open up Genshin, and it'll take 10 minutes to install and update the patch in terms of like the actual loading screen, because I did download the patch. It's just got to do that thing where it's like updating files for 60 years. So we'll chill in that Wonderland for a hot minute. What do you guys think? I'll be honest, we knew what it was. It was VR games and indie games, but it looked very cool, all the indie games. So I'm not peeved. I don't know if anything there besides Final Fantasy, but to me, man, Final Fantasy is one of those games that I think looks so fun as a game. I've just never been able to get into it because it's either I make an excuse, it's too vast. Like the one that had the most buy-in for your boy. Also, I need to, give me a minute. I guess with a new update, you have to install your thing. Yep, give me a sec. I don't know the password of my Genshin account right off the bat. Give me a sec. God damn it. Talk amongst yourselves. That. There it is. Gotcha. This. Is that better? Stuff every time you're like, are you not a robot? And you're like, wouldn't it be cool? Just do this once and then be done with it. We're good. Oh, we have a whole new terms and services to reply to. I agree to everything. Yes, I'm gonna sell my soul. Love it. All right, good, go. Okay. Also, silence. Nope, that's the podcast that I didn't want to lose my place in. So, I was a very high, quick start. Oh, we got fucking again wrecked by these fucking Tinder people / bots. I'm a doop-a-doop-a-boo, high user on channel. All right, brilliant. We'll catch up on chat real quick. If you have Final Fantasy VII, play that as well. No, there's plenty of good reasons to play. Everything I want to play, like emo, weird nonsense, like boy band group, Forward, all look great. But to me, man, it's almost so. I don't know how to put it. Let me know, guys. Know for those guys who are Final Fantasy fans. Do the games are they at a point in which they are now like just references to like old characters or like old games, but they don't define the current game, or are they still like, no, if you played like the previous games, this one is not going to make sense to you if you haven't done that? Because that's what I kind of want to know. You know what I mean? Good lord, bots are down bad. Yeah, man. Also, they go hard in the paint. Fuck Tinder. Come on, we gotta be like that to Tinder. Also, is it installing? Yeah, I could jump back into this. See, this is what I mean. This verification of files takes like 50 years. Not great. I'm sorry. I love Final Fantasy 15. Let's see. It says the two games that got my attention is the Resident Evil 4 remake and the Eternal Night of Anime. Yeah, the anime game looked not bad. That one does seem like it's bridging a lot of the gaps of like, looks like it's a little bit of a dating sim. Looks like it's a little bit of a slasher. Looks like it's a little bit of a kind of like an arcadey move through level kind of encounter. Very much feels like a Suda 51 game. You guys ever played Suda 51 games? Are like 15 types of games mashed together, with usually one game being like the main archetype. Scott says, same. I gotta check it out. I feel like Final Fantasy community be wholesome. Yeah, no, Final Fantasy people seem like it's a good ass time. But to me, I don't know when to jump in. So that's the reason why I'm wondering is because like, when I see the gameplay of Final Fantasy, especially like the one K-pop boy one, whatever it's called, that one seems like the combat's actually pretty dope. Like you can switch to characters, pop a bunch of abilities, switch back. It also seems like it's like extremely intricate. Like you can get overwhelmed with how intricate you could be. That seems awesome to me. But if they could just do that in like a world that is brand new, like Scalebound or Scaleborn, like that game with dragons and shit, if you just had a bunch of side characters that you could get on like your team and roster and then explore this open world that is crazy and shit, that's dope to me. The Final Fantasy world I think is good, but I feel like I'm oftentimes like missing 80% of what's going on because I haven't played every other game in the series, you know, and I'm kind of like, ugh. And then you look at like a video on like how to catch up and it's like 5 hours long and you're like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I can't buy in like this. As she says, they will return. The bots, they always do. But when we just knock them down again, I don't know why though. Like it's also like there's nothing in this that is setting it off. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Scott says, Eternal Night looks interesting. What was that again? What was Eternal Night? Oh, was that the, no. The one that, to me, I think looked interesting was the Dead Space kind of game, which was, like, something project. That one looked like, yeah, for people who have wanted, like, this horror kind of third-person kind of game, looks pretty good. I don't know if it, like, made... I think, like, its execution of the trailer got across... like it's Dead Space kind of like horror, space odyssey kind of weirdness, but I don't know if it made people interested in what's going on. Like I think that's something that the original Dead Space did a pretty good job about, is the trailer was like, no, you're just an engineer who's like looks badass and iconic, but you're just pushing through this like ravaged space station, you know? Whereas this one, you had this guy like saying a bunch of weird like, you'll love it, like he was like an announcer bro being like, this will be your favorite part, like you can't wait until this happens. You're kind of like seeing all these brutal melee attacks and you're like, okay, what is this? What is going on? Ashley says, yay, Genshin. Yeah, a little bit Genshin Impact. I haven't jumped in yet. I haven't played in like probably 2 months. Or not 2 months, probably, sorry, like maybe 3 weeks. I'm hoping I get my like, it's been more 3 weeks. I'm hoping I get my like, hey, you haven't played in a long time, here's a little bit of a catch-up bonus. But if I'm like 1 day away from getting my catch-up like bonus rewards, unlucky. Painful. Losingit says, the Final Fantasy story isn't as bad as the Kingdom Hearts story. At least with the Final Fantasy story, most of them aren't connected. Oh, I see. Yeah, because to me, I guess that's the one thing. If I'm going to get into this game, I want to look at what I'm going to need to know for this game, you know? Even though there might be some like quick asides, like Ifrit, you need to play the first game in order to find out that in the third game, you broke this motherfucker out of death or jail or whatever the hell. Or this was the Devourer of Worlds. And I'm like, that just kill me. It's too much. Also, my controller's fucking up again. What are we gonna do? Also, we still have yet to claim Fischl's friendship, tag. And we're not going to, because I know for you guys who watch the stream and all, I forgot how to play this game. I used to be instinct, now it's like, okay, you can't use D-pad. Okay. Let's go with this team. This team's a little dirt-proof. Let's start off by just banging out these dailies. No, first of all, we should probably, bang out our resin, because it's capped. It's been capped for a long time. We didn't get our bonus that said, hey, you've been away for a long enough time. Feels bad. Feels bad. We're all no resin. We can cash in it all. Now let's go do our dailies. But ladies and gentlemen, we didn't have time to ask you guys this in the opening. How is your day? How's it been? Hopefully exciting. Hopefully you're excited for Friday and all that. Scott says, I agree, but the VR is taking over too quickly. I need... there it is! It's back! So fast! Like lightning. It's always just a bunch of emotes. Like, I don't even think you can click on an account in the stream as easy. You know? It's kind of like, yeah. I don't know what your play here is. You know what I mean? Oh no! Oh no, did I fucking misclick? Oh, I misclicked. No! Oh, god damn it. Oh, I fucking am an idiot. I just fucking hid Lone Syndicate because the goddamn, it doesn't highlight your thing, hide user. Golly, Lone Syndicate, please type so I can see your message again, bud. Oh no, stay put. Oh no. I know I blocked that. Okay, we're good. Jesus Christ. You know what, Lone Syndicate, you were coming in too hot. Okay, also, damn it, wrong button. Jump back in game. Boom. Also, I'm overheating like crazy. Yeah, my bad. It's hard. It's like when you hover over a name, it's over here, and then the little icon is like all the way over here. So like, I can't see a perfect line, so I click one tab above, and it missed. Do you understand? Oh, it's so fucking warm. Holy shit. Ugh. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want to talk to you today about, frankly, has anyone here experienced VR? And what am I missing? Because I want it to be the best, but there's not a company. We've gotten close. We got Half-Life Alyx. That's huge. We've gotten Saints and Sinners, but I don't think there's that. We also got VR chat. I think, like, I am more incentivized to buy an HTC Vive than a PS5 because at least there's like stuff that is unique to be done on on an Oculus something. But it's still quite expensive. But also, like, Sony has one that's not as expensive, but it's also like shit. Not shit, but shit. A little bit shitty. a little bit restrictive, you know? But at the same time, there's not too many games that, like, have stuff to do in it, you know? Like, I feel like we're waiting for that game that is, like, that open world, just fucking gun it. But also, like, the two problems I think VR has. One of them is the movement thing. The movement thing I think is still weird for a lot of people. Like, I hate the like teleporting all over the place, which I think helps with motion sickness, but I hate that idea. It just looks derpy as hell, and you're like just like teleport. It's horrible. At least I don't like it. But the other thing is like motion sickness just generally. I think both people have a fault with that. But then the other thing is that, like, it's funny because there's a certain indie, like, developers, like, various developers that have seemingly, like, a lot of utility. Like, they show that it's possible to do certain things. Like, whether that's, there's a game that PewDiePie was playing a while back, which was basically, like, you just pick a melee weapons, you can, like, cast spells, and you simply just hold a button, and you go up, and now you're doing electrical powers. You hold left, and now you're doing electrical powers. Same way as you would have, like this. Oh, sorry. Like this. Like, you'd have this, except it'd just be you pointing, left, right, up, down, that kind of thing. Oh, we did get it. We did get the thing. We did get the, hey, you dummy, you've been away for, no, maybe not. Maybe that's not the thing, never mind. Is this right? Stellar reunion, no matter where you are, travelers will always have a place. Hey, we got the thing, we didn't fuck up too badly, let's go. Yeah. Anyways, but, man, like, to me, man, like, if they made a game that was like an open world game with maybe co-op, which I know is already asking a lot, I think that'd be where, also you'd like maybe a fantasy world, I think I'd have to be in, you know what I mean? I think you'd have to be in. You get like a whole bunch of shit going, but right now it's always like these linear kind of games, which still look awesome. Like, again, Saints and Sinners, you haven't seen that gameplay, it looks sick. But, yeah, I don't know, that one again is like, okay, well, like, I can't play that almost indefinitely, which I feel like if there was, like, a survival game built on the idea that, like, you can keep, like, again, building a base or, like, State of Decay, but, like, first person, you going into, like, little rooms and grabbing shit, like a little pack rat, and then running back to your base, and if your friends are doing this together, that would be, like, satisfying. But then all the games do that and do it in such a way that, to me, I think, like, makes it horrible, where they're like, okay, we'll do that, but now it's terrifying. So now it's like dark as shit. There's like zombies that will one-shot you. Now you have to hide, and you're like, "Fuck off!" I just want to play with my friends and like collect resources and build something. And they're being slight stakes, just slight. I don't need to get my head kicked in or be in the terror every single time I'm playing your game. Anyways, sorry, I just seen an image of how someone would take my ID and destroy it. I was like, "Fucking stop it!" Anyways, how are you guys going? How's it going? I will not ban you if you reply. Oh yeah, Ashley said you check your in-game mail. Thank you, Ashley. Oh, Scott said you think VR is taking over too quickly, and they need to condition. Like, what do you mean? Like, people, they need to trickle it out slowly? Pretty decent for a Thursday. I mean, yeah, it's not bad Thursday. To me, all Thursday is also like, I don't know. There's something about like only one more day. You know what I mean? Like, there's something freeing about. Some people say like, oh, this is my last set. Easy for like exercising. But for me, I'm always like, it's my second to last set. So like, as soon as I'm done my second set, then I'm like, okay, like I know we're basically home free. Which may be weird. Scott says, how are you, Senor GRINN? Me? I'm doing pretty good. I'm close to finishing my book. I edited a bunch of Deathverse videos for y'all. I just finished, now I need to finish reviewing my notes, which I'm pretty close to, and then I gotta finish watching what I may perceive to be like in my top 3 now, which is the Ranker of Kings, or whatever it's called. It's just, they really have to shit themselves in order to ruin it for me, because it's such a good show. And it's like so good that I don't want to talk to people about it because I don't want them to be like, no, wasn't that great? And then I just think less of that person. And I'm like, I'm not this. I can validate other people's opinions, but to me, it is just so clever and cute and like fun and heartwarming and cozy that I'm like, I can't, you know? You know when you love something so much that you're like, stop it. Talk to me, okay? But yeah, passing of time. Okay. Why is this not just always in the game, like a login bonus? It's not like we're gaining like a shit ton of money. Like what? Golly. I guess actually no, I guess we would have gained more primo gems if we were just doing our dailies, but still. Unless this is a login bonus. Ashley says, check in-game mail. Oh, wait, is this not like a special thing? This is just like normal? This is not the thing? I thought that's what you meant. It said we'll always have a place for you, so I assumed. We got maintenance things. We got that. We got Diluc. I'm sure it's the same as we've gotten prior. Oh, well, hey. You get primo gems at least for doing a survey. That's only 100, you know, so... Yeah, it's like a couple dailies, like a daily maybe, but you know, something. But did I cash in all my Scarlet things? Honored Path, daily commissions, login bonuses, cooking things, all that. Is this new? Is this new? Ashley says you missed about 4 of the 5,400 primo gems. Oh, why? What was that? Was that like when because I didn't log in the month that it was like delayed? Oh, that's shitty. That's unlucky. Well, it is what it is. Frankly, I still think I have let's see how many wishes I have. I haven't checked my. I think we got 18K. Sorry, we got 18K wishes. We can probably get a good old college attempt on what's his name? What goddamn Kazuha? You know. But I'm not sure if I want to keep playing, you know? Yeah. Lonzy says, my day has been good. Been playing Counterside, my new mobile game. I've watched your Deathverse video, Grin, and don't worry, Grin. Grin, when Deathverse comes out, you gonna win. Well, I have a video coming out, hopefully, no, not today. Maybe today. No, not today. I need to give you guys a break from Deathverse, where we actually played and we did pretty good. Well, frankly, it's interesting because the moments that I kind of find I die is when like I get stun locked into a thing. And it's because I'm not blocking, which we only figured out towards like kind of the end of the stream, or at least me. I think you guys figured that out quite fast, but for me, I was like, know what to do with this. So yeah. That was when the delay happened. Yeah, no, I know. I did see them giving a lot of primo gems during that thing, so probably all in all a bad time to take a break. But I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm on a break right now. Again, like I was telling, Lone Syndicate knows this because we were talking about this plenty when we were playing other games. But I almost, yeah, now that I basically stopped playing for like what essentially is like 3 weeks or almost a month. I don't feel like FOMO anymore. I don't feel like the fear of missing out. In fact, I was like, holy shit, actually, it took us some annoying amount of time to always log in. Like, I was able to read a ton of more. I was able to, like, watch other shows and have fun in that way, you know? And also, I don't like the way Genshin is going, you know? Like, it's until, like, and again, people give me hope when they start saying that, like, oh, Genshin could become a game where essentially when there's a competitor, then it finally starts to implement the things that people actually are asking for, like end game content and things like that. But I don't know if I want to wait until they feel like they have to change in order to support them again, you know? And also, they don't need my support, granted. It's just, to me, I don't know. I feel like it's a game that I don't know. I'm almost weak. And I'm like tired, super tired for having like a hope or an aspiration for it. Doesn't mean I don't love it. Doesn't mean I don't think it has like, again, that's why I think Genshin is like always, it sucks, but it's been on the precipice ever since launch, way before Inazuma, way before all these other things, where the gameplay was so fun and like engaging, that all it needed to do was just add some like consistent content and maybe some co-op things, and I would have been like locked and loaded, ready to keep on grinding and keep on finding a way to keep people engaged. But now it's like, it's just, you know, it's proven itself, in my opinion, just to be the classic example of like a monetary incentive game, which its only metric for it having any sort of utility to it is the fact that it's going to be monetarily successful, you know. And possibly that could be nihilistic. I have yet to see a single thing that's shown that that's not the case over the last like 5 years of me playing it. It's not to say that it's not fun. It's not to say that getting a new waifu and husbando is not very interesting and addictive. I wouldn't say it's interesting. I'd say it can be interesting for the allotted time that you have to play with it, which is, given your proficiency, probably like maybe a week or even less than that, because you've gotten all your gear beforehand and you have like about 2 weeks to, or maybe a week to play, and then you start to feel the diminishing returns. So yeah, but yeah, I don't mean to be a downer about Genshin. I don't know, like me not having those primo gems, I'm like, all the more reason to like play it when I want to play it, whenever we want to take a break from something, and then we'll come back if there's something else. But at this point, I would rather bet on a horse that is something else, because right now I bet on the same horse for 2 years. It feels like 3 years. It feels like, even though it's not even 2 years, but. And I just feel like it's again. But also for people who are always like, no, I just like the funny mini games, and it's always just been like a passive podcast game for me, then I'm like, yeah, I can see why people keep playing it in that case. But I've never wanted it to just be that, you know? Although I like that it's that, I would hope always that it becomes something that has like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if they really flushed out the cooperative play? Wouldn't it be cool if we had events that stayed around? And everyone's example forever has always been terrible for why that can't happen, because of mobile restriction, data limitations, but there's other games within the same kind of archetype as Genshin that can do that, so it's not a good enough answer. But yeah. Lone Singed says, are you getting Yelane today? No, I am not. No, I'm not. I only got 18. I gotta save for either Kazuha or the Wind Punchy Boy. Which Wind Punchy Boy, I think is looking like 2 months out, and even then, probably more. So yeah, but also, like at that point, we're close to Dendro probably, and I'm like, God damn it, this is their strategy, is to limit that. But also, I haven't heard much news from Kazuha. I keep seeing people say like, oh, Kazuha this, Kazuha that, and like, I don't know, man. I would hope that that's the case. Certainly, the timing would be helpful to have it now, but I don't know. Spark says, wow, Genshin, yeah, we turned out in the Sony conference, like 20 minutes. Pain. Lone Singed says, yes, Grin, that's the return play. Okay, so that's the return play thing, but Ashley wanted to see if I got the primo gems. Gotcha. And if I logged in once just to get, and again, that's the thing though, man. Like, to me, in my head, I'm like, oh, if I'd only logged in once, and I just like once every Sunday just to condense my resin and like use my fragment and resin and just put it back into my resin points, I'd be coming back to what is at least like a couple hours of grinding, given my time I've taken off. But at the same time, it's like, but that's the thing. That's like the FOMO thing. That's like they've built the system to make you feel like, oh, well, if you only just came back one more time. And I'm kind of like, it's more of a time than you think, I guess. And none of it, to me, kind of means anything. Again, I love the characters, but yeah, I don't know. And again, it's not like we couldn't come back and like play all the stuff that they've added. Well, actually, kind of, yeah, it's more of the FOMO. You can't, because a lot of the stuff is time gated and limited, you know. But it's kind of like I'm at the point where I'm at peace. I'm like, you know what? If I miss this, what did I really miss? You know, what did I really miss? What did we really miss? We didn't really miss nothing. All right, we had a good time. Somewhere else. We weren't betting on a person that wasn't betting on us. You know, feels good. Alone Singed says, yes, Grin. That's return player. Ashley says, that was when the delay happened. Also, there was an extra 100 primo gems with the return. Oh, I see. Also, what, Ashley? Scott says, for real, why state of play so sad nowadays? Makes me want to sell my PS. Halo want to buy. I think Lone's already got one. But what do you call it? Scott, it's funny you say that, man, because I'm like considering buying a PS5 right now, man. No, I do not want yours. but like it sucks because like Deathverse is coming out, but also God of War Ragnarok, which I think God of War Ragnarok might not be just current next gen. Maybe it probably will play like shit on the old, but still. But no, man, I agree. Like, to me, it'll be like, it's funny because Sony's state of play was literally like, hey, it's just gonna be VR games, and good old indie game kind of thing, like riding a bike forever, kind of weird with cute girl with glasses. But but then Xbox, dude, I don't know what it is. The last couple of years, I have been like, I used to probably be way more on the side of like a PlayStation fanboy, because I've always had a PlayStation. We always had Xboxes growing up. Loved Halo, all that stuff. But then eventually we pivoted over to PlayStation, and I was like, I love it. I think PS3 solid. I think a PS4 fucking incredible, especially playing Destiny. God damn, the exclusives, the everything, love it. But the last couple years, man, outside of like some like jaw-dropping game, like, which to me, honestly, the only one that's really blown me away is God of War. God of War is like, unfortunately, so good of a game that it kind of validates your purchase for a PS4. And not that there's not Xbox games that are like that, but sure as shit, yeah. But it definitely seems like Xbox is like their system that they have built for like the Xbox Game Pass and stuff like that. Also with them being really open with, of course, PC, all those things. To me, I'm just like, I don't know. But also we have yet to see the yield of like Xbox doing on like a buying frenzy and like buying up so many different types of companies. We have yet to see the yield of like, okay, what do those developers who are like critically acclaimed, what do those developers look like? When under the kind of like surveillance of Xbox, specifically Phil Spencer, specifically with Game Pass being their kind of like monetary incentive. So there's not so much as like, there's not really a thing on like initial cost so much as engagement. So it seems like they're seemingly with Game Pass, you just want to have something that can kind of be at least interesting for enough time. Like whether it's just like hey, here's a fun open world game, here's a fun little indie game that can just keep people like seeing like, oh, this is valuable, oh, Game Pass is valuable, oh, Game Pass is valuable, or a game that is like kind of made as like a multi, like a, what's it called, a games as a service kind of game, which I don't know if they're gonna do, because games as a service doesn't. It makes like a little bit of sense if you can get it free with Game Pass, like all of the little updates. But I think most developers are gonna try to double dip to some extent. I'm not sure Xbox may. So basically, what I'm saying is it could be good or it could be bad. It could be like, holy shit, Xbox is killing it. It could also be like, ooh, this is not a good. This is took all the developers that we all love and it's just a bloodbath, Hopefully not that, but who knows. What's good, Beastie? Beastie says, I've been binging Ranker of Kings all day, and it's so good, right, Beastie? Beastie, what do you like about it? Who's your favorite character? What episode you on? Let me hear about it, please, Beastie. It is so good, dude. It is so good. What episode you at? Cause, dude, it just keeps unraveling. It just keeps hippity happening. All right, bit by bit, piece by piece. Each character starts becoming more wholesome. Have you gotten to the part where Boji pops off? By episode like 15 or something like that. BC says, also, hello to all of you beautiful people. I hope your day has been absolutely fantastic. Beastie being lovely as always. Scott says, you're not wrong. God of War was the only game I've played that showed the capability of the PS4, but PlayStation 5 is crispy. But when we got Xbox buying all those companies and monetize, yeah, man. Wow, Scott, I'm really hoping that Xbox, because Phil Spencer, to me, I like his like strategy to a lot of things. So to me, I'm like, if this is the idea of like the problem with game development is its insane fluctuation. And also the problem is that like every company, especially for like EA, is all about like getting stupid sales. Whereas if you could just like do the Netflix as a service thing where you just constantly basically provide value to where everyone buys in to the value so that your annual revenue has to be around here. And then if anything on top of that, which could be, this is where it could get dicey, like DLC content that you have to pay for, cosmetics that you can pay for, that's rough. So we basically, for everything, it's all encompassing from buying the base, kind of like a World of Warcraft subscription. This is all like the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is that Xbox is basically just giving stabilization to developers, saying like, okay, well, if company B makes a fuck ton of money, and everyone plays a share of their game, that can basically subsist the rest of our like indie development teams. That can have a green light new projects. That can keep the ball rolling for all of us. So instead of like one success, because games usually were like, it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of the gaming market. Like if one of your games is doing well, then by nature of demanding people's time, that there's less time to go around to the other games in the moment. So your other game shouldn't be punished because one game is dramatically succeeding and the others are not getting as much attention because that one game is taking up the eyes of the market. Now, you also don't want to cannibalize each other, so it's kind of like, well, wait, why not use some of that, that momentum and feed the other people that are constantly providing value? Because this way, you'll basically just your like successor will basically be someone that is already in your crew, so you'll never not lose. Essentially, you'll always just keep like incentivizing the next generation, the next winner forward, and you'll keep yo-yoing in this kind of circle of this. Maybe. Companies can kind of get hungry for monetization and things like that, and it can get real messy really fast. But we can hope, that it all works out. BC says, I just finished episode 9. I haven't seen my boy Unleash the Beast yet. Oh, dude, can't wait. Have you gotten to the part where the stepmom, Mrs. Schnoz, with the giant pointy nose? Have you gotten to her part, right, where she starts becoming like a little more sweet and endearing? How, Beastie, what is the point at this point that you got the most mad? Because to me, there's only one answer. I want to see if you've been watching. I want to see if you've been. I trust you've been watching, but I want to see. I want to see you ignite with the rage in your heart. Because there's a lot of moments where Boji's just getting shit on all the time, okay? But there's one moment where I'm still, at this point in the show, it's still like this son of bitch. This son of bitch rat bastard. We can just fast travel back, right? I don't want to swim. I don't want to swim all the way over there. Fuck that. Scott says, what's good, Beastly? I hope all is well. Scott says, honestly, you put it that does make. I mean, Scott, the thing is, man, I hope it does. I'm just like, there's so many developers. Like, I think they got Ninja Theory. Like, dude, I really hope they greenlit some sort of Ninja Theory game that is not bleeding edge. That is just like a fun slasher game that maybe doesn't have like the DMC people just fucking angry as shit all the time. I love DMC, but like, I love Devil May Cry. I thought DMC was a fun time. A good old slasher, a little angsty, but I love that, But yeah, what is good, Roger? Roger says, it must be that eyes yield lies. It must be that my eyes yield lies. Grin and Genshin reunited. You love to see it. I don't know if I'd say reunited. People just told me that I lost, or Ashley, not just people, Ashley. Just told us that we lost a bunch of Primo Gems because each subsequent week they were giving them out as like, hey, thank you for keeping playing, all this stuff. But yeah, to me it's just like, especially if you've ever distanced yourself from Genshin, I find like it is really really impossible to not see FOMO or scarcity, which is basically like, oh my god, you got to get in there and play or else you're missing this. But ultimately, if you take a step back, especially if you go the distance, you push past that, you're like, what did I really miss? Some Primo Gems from some characters that I already don't need. You're like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I actually got a lot of extra time not having to jump in every day doing the bare minimum weird things, But yes. What do we need to do? We have this homeward path. We did that apparently. Neat. Got some money. It's gonna force me to log in daily. Unlucky. But what are we doing? Oh, complete the Chasm quest. Sure, we'll just run out. We're just doing the Chasm quest. The game's muted, so the Chasm quest isn't that good, right? It's not like, oh my god, I need to experience it, right? It's just like, hey, there's an area. There's some lore. If you care, you care. I hope that's what it is. How are you, Roger, though, by the way? Hopefully the day's been nothing but lovely. I always like seeing you. Nothing but good people. BC says, should have cut off more than his hand. Yes! Yeah, Beastie. Well, Beastie, okay, so here's him, Beastie. I agree. That part, pretty fucked up. But it's the part where he fucking lets them dude, like he was kicking some ass at the beginning, and then he just like he lets a student get the shit kicked out. I fucking wanted to rip his head off, Beastie. What a fucking him doing the thing was not the sorrow. Yeah, him doing that was not as bad because of the thing he previously did. His dude was kicking some ass, and he's like, you know what? No, you know your path. Fuck that. You just He was bonking the shit out of that blonde fuck. Okay, you know? If you guys have not watched Ranker of Kings, I feel like this will always be my response to anyone who's watched it, which is just like, ah! But yeah. I apologize for the spoiler in case anyone wants. No, it's okay, Beastie. And you know, I'm worse. I'm far worse. But by the way, another kill count on my tiers. Ranker Kings took a good bit from me yesterday. I got to a point where there might be some afterlife kind of like visions of the underworld kind of thing, but not in like a sorrow, not in like a evil way, in like a super sad seeing dead relatives kind of way. And I teared up because it was, just the show is the bringer of emotions, not bad ones, but just like, oh God, you know. Lone Singer says, hey Grin, check out my Elaine. She's fully leveled, but not fully leveled, but her stats are overall good. Let's see. Have you put her in the list? Check information. Where is she? There she is. Honestly, dude, Elaine is like dropping 30k bombs. She looks pretty nuts in general. But I don't have like they're like, oh my God, I need to play her, you know? I'm not sure if that makes sense. Like, people say that she's good, not God. That's like the thing that people keep saying in the Genshin community. I think she's pretty godly, frankly. If she's dropping 30k like it's nothing, 10k every couple of seconds, not bad. It's like pretty close to God, all right? Maybe like a demigod, something. But her kit does not look too, like, I like the fact that her little wristband glows and shit. That's kind of iconic. But it's not like to me, when I seen the gameplay of the, when I seen the leaked gameplay of the Animo like melee hand brawler, that shit looks wicked. That shit looks madness. He's sitting there like doing hand signs, fucking like concussing people back and shit. That looks kind of like And you know they're probably gonna run Kazuha and him back to back, or they're gonna run him and then Kazuha later, and they're gonna be like, guess what, bitch? You fell into the trap. And I'm like, God damn you. But, ladies and gentlemen, what is there to do? I was trying to check out Lone Syndicate's thing. Okay, attributes allocation. Ooh, we got a good crit ratio, good bit of critical damage, solid bit of regen. Isn't she scaling off HP though? Good bit of HP, it seems like. Yeah, oh man, I'm not sure, but I seen M-Tash's like fucking his thing, and dude, talk about a hell of a ray. Hey, Lone Syndicate? Nah, maybe this is too much. Maybe this is, hey, Lone Syndicate, just cause, you know, I banned you, I feel bad. Here's the fucking, you're a moderator now. Sorry for the responsibility. I can keep doing it if you don't want to. Hide user, please tell me I blocked the right person. Let's see. Boom. Did I do the right thing? We did. Whew. Yeah. Cool. And then back at it. Back at it. It's a great crit ratio. Yeah, but M-Tash's craziness was wild. Ooh, you didn't get a weapon. I like to see it, Lone Syndicate. I like to see it. Also, we have a little bit scattered. Maybe not scattered. I don't know how to build her. I am pretty out of the loop in terms of Genshin. But 4, 4, and 4. You didn't prepare as much. You've been telling me the truth. Wait, huh? Yeah. Surprise, bitch. Bah. Just like that. Yes, you know, when yeah. You don't you don't have to take the responsibility of the wrench. Frankly, God, man, there's so many things that YouTube is like trying to not be like, we're not copying. But it's like, why not copy? Like, instead of raids on like streams, they had like, what is it, like pushes? What? It's called push or something? It's basically like a raid, but more complicated. And I'm like, stop it. Just stop it. Just do what they're doing. God damn it. You don't need to make it's like when people would say zombies, but then like walkers and like undead or like, it's just shut up. It's a zombie. God damn it. It's a point where you're trying to be too unique and it just comes across as pretentious. You know what I mean? So when I see that there's a wrench, that's just like significantly less cool than a sword, than a blue sword, okay? Oh, also Raja. I'm sorry, I didn't catch up. Raja says, I went from I shall not invest in Elaine to post her trailer. I shall get her. Yeah. Well, real quick turnover. I'm like, it's enough for me to. Okay, that's how they get you. That's how you know you're getting devoured by the beast. Ooh. Oh yes, you see in her lore trailer. Yeah, her lore trailer looked pretty cool. I'm not which one, because there was one that was like pretty short where she's like being like a detective, kind of like noir. What's it called? Femme fatale, I believe it's what's called. Basically, just like a I don't know how to really describe it. A bad bitch. It's just the best way. Scott says, hell yeah. Oh no, sorry. BC says hell yeah. Scott says, laugh my hands off. Syndicate, our soldier of chat. No pressure loan. Yeah, no pressure loan. You get all again. If you just want to play and chill, it's okay. Honestly, it does take me a long time to do face cam and then jump back. But I just thought, fuck it. Now it's time. B says, our chat lives. Our chatting lives in your hands. We believe in you. Well, my moderator arc has come to protagonist. Protagonist is back. Wait. Well, my moderator arc has come to protagonist of protagonist is back. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so you guys, so now you're more of a protagonist because you have a wrench, a god tool, a tool of either, you can do what you want with it. That's not true. If everything goes to shit, I'll take it away. I won't do anything besides that. I'll just take it away. Power corrupts, all that. BT says the greatest protag. Roger says it is so. I need to slow down. It is so that some but wish to stand out to such a degree, they get left behind by the potential that we were, but not capitalizing on it. Sorry, I've never seen that word written in that way. I've seen capitalized, but not capitalized. No, actually, I guess I haven't seen that word. Never mind. I lied. But yes, power corrupts. Scott says, protagonist with the power should be fine. Guys, I don't know if I, feel like I'm the main protagonist. I feel like I am the NPC, but I'm doing my best. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm just having a good life. I don't need to be this CEO. I would like to gain some success. I would like to be good at the things I enjoy. But I'm not sure if in my whole life I've ever been like, me, baby. All me. With exception to like one moment in Let It Die, which is probably going to come out tomorrow, which is me being like, fuck you, because I got one over on a person. But anyways. Also, is this even marked? Or not marked, is this even voiced? Sorry. Scott says, all right, read that. Alonso says, also Grin, Yelene's scaling pretty purely off of HP, making her the first character to fully scale on one thing based on attack on weapons pointless. Oh, I see. Okay, so she's mainly off of HP. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you have a 4-star fight. Oh, okay. So it's mainly off of just her HP value. Nice. Ooh. The wrench of power. Yeah, like Ratchet and Clank. Lone Syndicate says, even 3-star bows can put on her, and she can still pop off. Elaine is the most weapon choice of all the characters. At least 16 weapons of golly. BC says, Grin is a god that blesses the protag with the power to murder the guy. I'm not sure about that. I'm like the random guy who's like, why? Like, there's 15 other people that are significantly more prepared for this than me. Fuck off. I don't want this responsibility. Do you know how much stress this is? Why are you doing this to me? I would have an argument with God if he was like, you know, there's always that shit in the Bible that makes me laugh, where it's like God comes down, horrifying biblical figure, says, hey, do this. And I'm like, no. Fuck that. Yeah, there's not a good track record, my guy, for people who help you. Okay, I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna be like, I had a moment. I lost my shit for a minute, all right? We're good. I'm chilling. It's insane. People be like, yes. Like, what? Are you nuts? People are crazy. At least in stories. But yes. Lone Syndicate says, you know it's not voice grin, not the... thank you, Lone Syndicate, for just, you know, as well as telling me what I want to hear, as well as twisting the knife so that I believe it further. Thank you. Roger says, NPC, do you jest? You have a that's no, I can't read this. It's being too sweet. The personality, one most infected and makes people gravitate toward. I don't know about that. My voice does not get high pitched. I don't know about that. I don't feel that way. I do my best, which is basically it. I'm always at a loss. I'm like, again, like I said, I'm like the NPC that is sitting there like, what happened? What have I done? You know? But you're very sweet, Raja. I appreciate you so much. You're such a lovely person to talk to, and I'm happy that I've known you for such a long time now. Scott says, I agree with it now. Too many people. But guys, I'm not the guy. All right, like there's like these M-Tashes, these Tectones, these PewDiePies, these like cute Iron Mouse people, etc. These people are like large in life characters. I am as like average or normal or odd as not odd, well, a little odd, but like those people are like, there's a difference between odd and iconic. I think those people are pretty iconic. But now I feel like I'm accidentally jesting for people to say some shit about me. So let's end it. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I do love myself. I am happy with who I am. But there are moments when I feel like people have this this over encompassing power for themselves and their place in the world. And for me, I'm always like, I don't know. I guess like again, well, I get there's something weird that happens within my like deep bones, where when someone says like you're a good person, or like you're this or you're that, and to me there's something in my head, not that I don't like love myself, or that I can like, you know, I can enjoy the people who are around me and who find value in my, you know, strange or normal, whomever you perceive personality, but to me there's something about that makes me feel not uncomfortable or weird, but like off. Like it's almost like it's, for me, it's not the right answer. I guess, you know what I mean? But anyways, but I appreciate that so much. Y'all are too kind to me. Lone Syndicate says, oh no, BC first says, all the love, yeah, crazy love, far too much for me, far more than I deserve. I appreciate you guys though so much for giving me a single second of your day. It's never been an expectation for me, but it's always an absolute pleasure just hanging out with you guys. Lone Syndicate says, I'm gonna tell you why I got Yelane, and basically it comes down to my love of spy movies. 2007 vibe, or sorry, no, 007 vibe. Like she gives me the kind of aura, and I love her for it. Plus, I love me a classy wife. Yeah, I get that too. Constantly spy vibe, kind of badass, kind of like is maxed out confidence kind of thing. Like believing like if she's got it, everything will work out kind of thing. I get that. BC says also caps lock. Yeah, it's all good, buddy. We know you're not screaming. Scott says GRINN is in fact I'm not the guy. I am a person. That'd be the way I would describe myself. BC says he is indeed a person. Thank you, BC, for backing me up. See, well, you guys can see yourselves above me, but in theory, for people who are vibing, playing a video game and listening to me, they don't know. They're not looking at that chat moving constantly. Actually, for my chat, they might actually. These people are pretty engaged here, but which I love. But what are we doing, by the way? Have we got access to the quest yet? We have not. It still tells me to do it, but it doesn't tell me where to go. There we go. Scott says, you just a brother from another mother, my dude. Thank you, Scott. That's a fun way to put it. Also, is there puzzles here, dude? Because I don't really have the mental engagement right now to be like, yeah, puzzle, you know. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I think tomorrow we might change it up once again and play the weird dating sim eldritch horror thing I've been talking to you guys about forever. I have to make sure it's doesn't have any like ugh in it, which I don't think it does. I think it's a little bit promiscuous, but at the most. But I don't think there's like sus stuff. B says the guy would never call himself the guy. So more proof. No, I'm not. No, that's not true. I'm sure absolutely the guy would be like, I'm the guy. But also that's something that I like about like storytelling, just in general. When like the person. Like, it should be a prerequisite for anyone who wants to be like a leader or a president to basically not want to be a leader or a president, because they're like, that's insane. Like, the work, the consideration, the lives in your hands is nuts, you know? Well, it says GRINN is like a young Midori who hasn't tapped into his... I'm not sure about that. First of all, young? I am 25, boy. I'm 5 years away from 30, which is not necessarily old, but it's getting to the point where it's like, hey, you're gonna start having problems. Your back gonna start being thrown out. The shit that you did when you're young gonna come back with vengeance. Okay, I'm not the Midori situation. Also, I'm not sure if I want to be Midori. Midori is the kind of man who jumps into a fire without knowing how to fucking breathe through fire or suck down smoke, etc. He's gonna get himself killed, and then other people gonna have to come and help him. The fact that All Might bailed him out and gave him like a hope is beautiful, lovely story. Pushing through that adversity, love it. But they have yet at some point in the story to not be like, yeah, he would have died instantly. He would have literally been like, yeah, I want to be a hero. Immediately died. That's the one thing I'm waiting on my hero to like show an alternative timeline where Deku just became like the gadget Batman guy who found a way. Because at the very start of the show, the message of, yes, it is a good aspirational thing to have the desire to run into a fire, because you will just make the hero, the person who is actually trained to be a hero, have to not lug out one body, but 2. So stop it. Anyway, sorry. Oh, I'm talking way too much. I'm out of breath. I'm lightheaded. It doesn't matter what we say here. BC says, Charmy, waifu with the boys. Who's Charmy again? I know I watched My Hero. I'm just terrible with names. Is Charmy the? Who's that? That sounds familiar. Is she the Toad? No. It's not something Megami or something, is it? I don't know. That's the waifu. That's Gravity Girl. Who's Am I reading that right? Charmy, or is it Charming? Charmin waifu with the boys. Is that what you mean? Scott says 25 is when pain starts. I haven't felt like pain yet, so I'm hoping we're okay. I haven't felt 25 yet. I haven't felt pain yet. BC says GRINN's no, I'm not sure about that. I feel like I'm also a baby. I talk to you guys about every week. Every time we stream, I'm like, I cried last night because I watched an anime person who was deaf and tiny push through adversity, and I was losing it. But also, that man, that's like, if you want to see like a true pro tag that's like fucking built different, Boji, baby. Boji. Number 1 king. Can't wait to fucking finish it. It's so good. It's so good. It's also like the epitome of yes. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, because he finds a way. Unlike Midori, who's like, fucking here's an out. I love My Hero Academia. But I will say, Boji finds a way to, even though he is severely limited, to work extra hard and find a path forward. Huge. Oh no, she is the frog person. Okay, gotcha. Also, Froppy, right, is the waifu. Well, who is the best waifu in My Hero Academia besides Gravity person? Because that's a little too on the nose. I don't know. Beast is so damn good, Beast. You haven't even got to it yet. You haven't even got to the part where he's like, guess what, bitch? Just I don't know who it is. You know what's funny? I like I vibe with the, what is it called? The goddamn mechanic lady. The one who's like got crazy eyes and goggles and shit and just a freak. That she's awesome. But she doesn't have a lot of screen time, so it's kind of like, what do we really like? You know? Lone Singer says, but I like who's Momo again? Is Momo the one who can like make random shit from her body by using calories? I don't think that's right. Also, you know what's fucked up? Not really fucked up, but you know what's just weird and different? Out of all like but outside of what's her name, the like clear heroine, the like gravity girl who's like being set up massively to be like Deku's love interest, I feel like if we could distill all of like the personality, like disconnect the personality and like the situations that have been done and been spent through. So basically, like, take everybody. Take Todoroki. Take fucking angry Bakugo. Take everybody. Disconnect them. Take waifu. You know, all these people. Disconnect them from their body and just keep them as like a personality type. Who do you think is the best out of the most compatible, best for what's his goddamn name? Deku. I think if you dissolve the one thing, the body and largely what we know from Deku, they haven't made it explicit at least, not into boys. But I think Todoroki, the guy with the burn on his face, has significantly the best relationship with Deku, frankly. Like maybe even more than like Gravity Person, especially like with him being in like Endeavor's circle, him like helping the shit out of Todoroki, them being like grounded equals largely, and them having like a crazy amount of respect for one another, and then also them pulling each other out of the fire constantly, you know? I feel like that doesn't get enough credit, all right? There are always people out here wanting to see the world burn with like Deku and fucking Bakugo. What a bunch of fucking freaks. Anyways, a little judgy on my part, but like people are fucked up, okay? People are absolutely fucked up. Normally, I can understand the shipping. All right, this one is like a Harlequin Joker, except worse. And it gets better in the manga, you know, they eventually figure it out, but still not good. Still not like, yeah, this works. BC says, don't you dare. I'm not spoiling anything, Beastie. I wouldn't want to take that from you. Oh, Momo, intelligent waifu. Is Momo the one I'm thinking about? I feel like Grin likes the earjack girl. I think her name. No, I don't like her. She has nothing. She's not in the game. We have nothing to like. She just shits on people all the time. She looks cute, but like no. She's mean most of the time, especially to the guy who's like he's a moron, but he's the electric guy, you know. A PC says she can make stuff, but she needs to. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's that man. Fucking Lone Syndicate. That's a. I kind of figured that would be yours because it kind of fits into an archetype. that yeah. Yes. She can make stuff, but she needs to know how to make it. Yeah, she uses calories to make like random shit. Yeah. I feel like for her power, they have yet to make something like, yeah, like I feel like if she just knew how to make a bomb or something, or like a flashbang, and just constantly kept bashing that out, that'd be crazy. But like, yeah, her power should be like learning how the intricacies of like a fucking like some crazy device, you know, some sort of like crazy engine or something, and just knowing how to like make that happen. Instead, they're like, she can make rope. It's just like, okay, you can make anything? Why don't you just become Batman and like make a bunch, like her fucking uniform, her clothing is literally like just barren. Like she should be fucking stacked with like a backpack and shit with just things that she's previously made, you know? And just like hucking random gadgets constantly. Even if she just partners with some of the person in like the division that makes gear, and she's like, I'll just make you a bunch of fucking metal and shit, and then bang, you'll just be crafting your ass off, all right? I'll just have to get chunky and eat a little bit of food and then bang out a bunch of things, you know? Madness. What is that? I don't know, some random bullshit. Go ahead. Froppy easy. What is Froppy? So basically, I agree with you that that Frog Girl was popping off in the first little bit of the show, but ever since she almost got like fucking like, you know, Thanos snapped with the destruction fist hand thing, she has been kind of taking a huge backseat. Like she was like the mainstay. She was there. She seemed like she was candidate one for like waifu or like side waifu kind of thing, like what is it called, rivals? Nothing, frankly, nothing's happened. Yeah, and they just completely put her on the back burner. For Deku, gravity waifu, but for Froppy, really? Yes, I don't know. Gravity waifu to me kind of makes sense, but there's kind of like yeah. I guess to me, I think like a good relationship also should have people who have like a baseline equalness to them, and like value each other, and also have trust in one another. It's kind of there. It's kind of present. It gets more present within the manga if you guys are caught up. Especially towards the end. Has it ended, by the way? Has the manga finally concluded? Or are we still waiting on like chapter to chapter? I think that was getting close last time I took a break from it. By manga, I mean I just watched videos recapping the manga. So yeah. I never actually finished My Hero. I'm tempted to, you know, Beast, it's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah, I think it's best when you have like the opportunity to binge it, because it is a show that's very much like a momentum show, at least to me. Look for the keys. Oh, great. Can I just do this? Okay, well, we got little tiny rocks. Do I have all of them? Are we supposed to put these somewhere? Yep, one there. But no, My Hero Academia I think is a very big momentum-based show. So yeah, it's one little piece at a time. It starts popping off, but like if you're like, I don't think it's as it's not enough momentum to carry you into like the next encounter, if that makes any sense, you know. So like it's good for an amount of time, like for binging, I think. But then the momentum, like it doesn't do that like next time, like or holy shit, they're like Lone Syndicate I think is watching also the Realist Hero, which that show is very good about like making every like you'll binge it, because it's just like next episode is interesting, how they solve this, and you're like, I want to see what happens. So they do the I want to see what happens kind of thing really well. Where's the other one? I'm blind. There's got to be another crystal somewhere, or is that it? Nope, she's still yelling at me to do something. Is it below us, or was this not it at all? Well, there's 3 gems, so there's got to be another thing somewhere. I'm blind, but I would assume it's somewhere. I would assume we got that too. Okay. There's this crystal thing. Is it over here? Where are you? That. There's nothing over there. What the fuck, dude? We've lost the spark anyway. We've got that one. It's back. It's back. Hey, we're back. It's gotta be low, right? Did she say? She's probably said something in the story, and you, yeah. Honestly, I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at myself, I mean. I'm mad at the game. I'm not mad at me expecting me to sit there and read for 5 minutes, okay? When there's no voice or no nothing. We should have just done, like, Burning Res or something. Does anyone remember this puzzle? Do we hit it? Look for a way to destroy the bedrock key. Is there, like, a thing here? Golly. That one. Do you know where the other one is, miss? Key up ahead. No access. Ooh. Do I do my vision thing? No, it doesn't even show that. I think it wouldn't be this far away. No, it's okay, Lone Syndicate. You don't have to worry about it. Where the hell is it? Indeed. What do you mean? Sorry, I was FK. No frog waifu got Thanos. She was close. She was close, but she made it. Loziget says, and tell me, Grin, what archetype is that? Big lady with big personality that also happens to be a brunette. Also, she's wearing a ponytail. Also, she happens to be, like you said, you enjoy seemingly, quote unquote, powerful spy-like confident women. And she seems like that entirely. She seems like the class president type. So yes, that is the archetype that I find you'd enjoy. Long, dark hair, tall as shit. Copious amounts of personality, as well as having a just a fucking bad bitch, basically a powerful woman. Which is a little broad. I feel like most people can be down with most of that. Where the fuck? I don't. Look for a way to destroy the quest. Yeah, for the key. Maybe I'll just run around and I'll eventually find it. Is there another thing here somewhere that I'm just missing? There's stuff here. I've given it to this. Did that go over there? No, I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, I know. I know I'm not wrong. If you said I was wrong, I'd be like, okay, we're hiding today. Okay. Although I don't know if that's wrong for most people. Again, I think most dudes are like, you know what, that sounds pretty good to me too. And I'm like, yeah, idiot. Most dudes are like, you know what, archetypes are basically just different perspectives of like, you know what, that's cool too. I think that's nice too. Guys, you know what? I could find it, but we're gonna go fucking. So the question, are you streaming for only 2 hours? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where the wind takes us. We might stop at 6. We may go to 6:30. I do have to work out today, but we did start a little bit earlier. What do I need to get done? I thought I was like leveling up. What's his name? And I stopped. Let's see. Why can't I open the thing still? You guys are looking at me. I'm going up to my characters, but the game's like, no, you're not. I'm like, I have visual proof, you ass. Anyways, I was leveling up him. So I got a crap weapon. Lone Syndicate was yelling at me last time brutally, just mean as shit. No, I'm kidding. He wanted me to use this, so we need to level up this. Do I have anything that I can do? Fuck it, burn all my blue weapons or my whatever. It's fine. Person just subscribed, thank you. I'm sure that was because they were watching other videos and not this stream. Beastie says we've lost our warrior or kingdom. So every warrior needs a break. Okay. Oh, we do have a lot of stuff to love that. Nice. I'm hoping this is the right weapon that Lone Syndicate was telling me to level up for him. If not, ooh. What is good, Fluff? We had a little bit of early stream. We seen some PlayStation things. We seen some Final Fantasy gameplay. How's your kidney stone going? We also seen some cool VR things. We also seen like a Dead Space kind of like game, adjacent Dead Space kind of game, as well as we've seen like an anime kind of like everything game where it was like slasher kind of show. Also, we've seen a new Street Fighter, which is more of like an open world hip hop scene, which is neat. Yeah. BC says the king steps down. I can't read your message, Misty. It's just too weird. But also, it's so you. You're such a personality and like a fun person to be around. So I can't handle it. But at the same time, I wouldn't live without it. You know. It says, sorry, I was there. Yeah, we read that a while ago. Indeed, yeah. It says, I mean, you are not right. I know I was. BC says, class rep type. Ooh. Ooh. I'm not sure if. I don't know if that's the archetype that I would. Maybe. I don't know. I guess class rep is always kind of like a. How do I put it? Like a rule snob a lot of the times. Also my hair. Jeez. But if class rep was like a fucking, like, what do you call it? Like a manager, like quote unquote a boss bitch, that'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty neat. If somebody could channel what is essentially the boss bitch atmosphere without being a cunt, that would be peak, I think. But largely they're like, you know, tyrannical, you know? Like falling under some sort of weird tsundere mean archetype. Also, I can't believe I had most of this. Madness. Let's go here. Oh, never mind. Dungeon is not available. Well, maybe we could make it. Maybe I could level up your talents. Sure, we'll level up this one. What books do you need? What books do you need? Oh, you don't need books. You need fucking, yeah. Ugh. We don't need books either. We need the stupid damn this. I don't want to go fight samurai people, dude. What's the damage we're doing with him anyway? What's his weapon? His weapon is at level 60. Not gonna be able to see too much from him probably, so we're gonna leave it. Well, actually, I think let's run around. Let's go fight samurai things with him. I don't remember most of them are, but I know a couple places we could quickly hit up, so we're not completely inefficient. Who should we use? Doesn't look like a bad team. Where are you? Where are you, suit man? You're only level 70, so you're somewhere here. Yeah, there you are. Okay. Deploy the team. I cannot be bothered to find out what the hell this is, nor where the other piece of it is. Was it over here or something? Adventure person. Where's the other one? What is it? Yeah, I just want to know. Yeah, no, I get it. I just don't know where the other one is. Oh, did we do it? No. No, we didn't. Look for a way to destroy the... Do I need to hit it with something? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Well, let's go fight samurai. Medic! What happened? Lone Secret says, hey, I won't hide from something like that. My love of waifus is strong. No, I know you won't. Burning flame in my chest that burns eternal. Oh, you guys are characters, and I'd have you no other way. Let's go to this place. This place has some samurai, I think. Scott says, please take care, GRINN. I'll see if you still are in a bit. Thanks for stopping by, Scott. You're always lovely. Hopefully I can see you again. It's been nothing but a pleasure, my friend. Yep, that's the weapon. Nice, thank you. Let's think it. Just want to double check. Fluff says, kidney stones seem to be gone. Let's go! Let's go, Fluff. Thank God, buddy. Man, that seemed like an eternal hell you were stuck in for a hot minute there. I'm happy you're finally getting close to seemingly being out of it. I think it's this way that has some of the samurai people. Yes, right here. All right, let's see if our, what do you call it, Ayato can do anything. I feel like I haven't heard much about him since launch, so. But he looked good. He looked like he had tons of AoE and whatnot, although I don't think my team needed a lot of AoE. My team needs just Kazuha, frankly. Let's try this. Ooh, look at that. 5K? Solid. Solid 5K. 5K, 3K. Not too bad. It's kind of bad. It's fine. We don't need to talk about it. Okay? Let's switch to Ido. At least, Ido, man. The Ganyu has ruined me because it's so nice just to like dome somebody from across the map, and it's just never not the best feeling ever to be like, oh, I don't need to wait around for you to come to me, you know? I think there's one that spawns in here, yeah. BC says, our warrior has come to aid the king against the never-ending onslaught of bots. Fluff, we've had a lot of bots, but what's new? Actually, it's been surprising. Usually, I think I mentioned there's a new version of bots that seemingly has arrived within the creation of shitty people that make bots. But it's present to where there's a shit ton of them. And yeah, ultimately not good. Annoying. But we've been handling it. Okay, don't feel obligated to show up to the stream just to get, do moderate things. Okay. I'm holding down the fort, live a good life, all that stuff. But I do love spend time with y'all. Just if there's ever like a doubt of like, maybe I'm not wanted. Fuck you, you are. So yes, fuck, goddamn, Lone Syndicate, fast as shit, fast as shit. I didn't even get to react. Well done, Lone Syndicate. Oh goddamn, Lone Syndicate was like, not today, bitch. Oh, it was so funny. I looked over, I was like, I'm about. Oh no. Okay. Oh man. The kingdom rest until Fluff Captain is healed. See us, God. Have a nice day. BC says our Fluff Captain has won the battle against the Great Stone, but the wound of war are still fresh. I pray for his recovery and that the kingdom may sleep in peace once more. You and Raja should just vibe together, BC. You're both the most unique people. I'm not going to try to... When I say a compliment to somebody, sometimes it makes it sound like everybody else is getting shit on. You guys are great. You guys are unique and incredibly interesting people. This is not... Oh, no, but there's one in here. I remember this a little bit. There's that. I think there's a couple samurai down there. We do not need to fuck with Fatui. Oh, BC says, oh God, warrior, we need you. Love says, just woke up from a nap. Oh, nice nap. How is that? Some people can nap on command. Don't you feel groggy though after you have a little bit of nap? But sometimes you need it. So maybe it's like, yeah, the alternative though was me feeling like death. So yeah, I get it. Let's do this. Do one of these. And this. But yeah, our new Summer Game Fest, by the way, stream will probably not be, what do you call it? We'll be, 12th, the 12th? I don't know, well, maybe we might do the other one. There's another one that looks somewhat interesting, but I want to do Xboxes, because Xbox, I feel like, is Summer Game Fest the new E3 for Xbox, or are they still going to pull out some more for that? I don't know. I don't know. But just woke up from a nap, expanded my main base building a bit, in Conan Exile, a bit, and looking more like Nordic house. Might work on a second floor. Ooh, golly, you getting after it. You have a focus, a purpose, a meaning. Got it. Love it. Man, yeah. It probably is. I'm trying to finish wrapping up these things I got going on currently. Like I want to review my book and then be done, and then make a video about it. And then I want to make a video about Ranker of Kings, and I might make like 5 videos on it because I think I like it that much. But I'm also kind of like, it's probably like I don't have many videos made for what is it called, the game. The game being no, not the game. Sorry, the game, the Tiny Tina's Wonderland. And I want to make sure I do that. And I kind of wanted to. Yeah, to me, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I mean, yeah, I think it makes sense, but like, I think just right now it's rough because the gaming channel is kind of turning into like the gaming channel is getting more, we're kind of splitting ourselves with like Let It Die being a thing, which I knew we would, and frankly, kind of is helpful. That way it keeps my like, the revenue I'm used to having a little bit, just to kind of like buy games and do things every month, from like the base channel, just because those other ones haven't unlocked monetization yet. It's nice having that one kind of be that thing that can still pull in some attention, which is nice. But also granted, I've still been holding back a good bit, and when I say holding back, I just mean I haven't been dedicating time to like doing what I did a couple months ago when I started to, basically get some momentum. Granted, we're also waiting to find something that we can get momentum from, but that's also arguably that you don't need to find something specifically to do that, so you could just make momentum out of nothing, kind of, but it helps when there's like a Saints Row game or when there's something like that, so yeah. BC says slaughtering and instant our warrior are truly the best of the best. The Great Syndicate has felled his mark with ease, trying to force to be quite the force to be reckoned with. BC is not with me. The longer streams go on, the more my brain starts to melt a little bit. Of Love says, I was more like a regular sleep at 9 a.m. to 4:30. You go to sleep at like 9. You go to sleep at like 9 a.m. That doesn't seem like enough hours of sleep. Not BC Fluff. Golly. Lomsigan says, I feel like ever since Grin brought up bots that one stream, it's just been, and yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe like, hey, fuck you, you bastard. I don't know if that's how it works. But yeah, no, I think what it was, Lone Syndicate, is I think I never started getting bots as bad as I did when I started playing Genshin, and I think it might be like this, that like I made a lot of guides for Genshin, and one of the videos was a person who clicked on one of the accounts, and then maybe like that triggered something and saying like this creator audience is clicking on those something. I don't want to blame my audience, but I just like, to me it was only when I started playing Genshin, and granted it might be because it is probably more like it. We like whenever I think it started when I started putting Genshin wishing in the title, and I think that's like, oh, people who have exposable income, or at least the ability to spend it, and they're willing to like take a chance on random nonsense, so what is the odds that they also have like compulsions to like see something like something provocative in terms of like implications of sex, or implications of like porn, or implications of monetary gain through poker or something. So I feel like bots drew a connection between the spending habits of like gacha and the manipulation / conning of people who participate in it, because I never got bots as bad as I did until we started playing Genshin. And I think now with the evolution of certain things, whether like with YouTube seems to be kind of reevaluating streaming to some extent, with a lot of it being kind of seemingly worse. I could see the bots being like, oh well, we should get on that too, because that's a group of people that are spending money on streamers. Who's to say they wouldn't spend money on like a stupid con essentially, which is like that. But it's weird. But I think that's the one polarity that I see. But I've been getting those types of bots, these like naked person buy this a lot in my videos, always, ever since Genshin. But only recently have I seen those same kind of type of things put into our streaming thing, which doesn't seem like they've really nailed, because I don't allow streaming. I don't allow label links. My brain's melting. I don't allow links in my chat, so that's why you only just see a bunch of emotes and you don't see any like link. It's because I don't allow that to begin with. That's why but also I think in order to get to that, like you have to click on their account, and it's a lot of ad nauseum, which is also why their name is literally like a provocative kind of statement, But yes. But I don't know. It is what it is. I don't know what to do about it, and frankly, I don't know if it's it's kind of annoying. I could see it being a little bit much for people. That's why I'm always like, I'll handle it. Like if it ever gets to be too excessive. What am I to do? I am trying to. I have no idea where the damn samurai people are. It would be so nice if it was just mapped out. I think there's one on this island. Tons on this island right here. I'm gonna drink some of my coffee. B says exactly. Yeah, I know. The stream where we mentioned it was rough. The stream where it was pretty weird. Like bot, boom, bop, bop, bop. I don't know if there's voice recognition on live streams, dude. What could have happened is some person who has like a bot farm is like, this fucking asshole. I'm like, what are the odds? There it is again. I got it. Never mind. I gotta pause the game. So much liquid in these emotes, and hidden. Yeah, actually, it might be voice. Because as soon as I said that, it happened. So it might be voiced. Let's say Voldemort, okay? These fucking Voldemorts. I feel like that's a racist connotation. Or like a judgy kind of thing. But, fuck these things, people, whatever. Our great king has summoned a bot to our kingdom who would have known that those few harmless words would key. It might be the words, honestly. At this point, who knows? Ooh. Fluff says, a lot of games released this summer, so it won't be much longer till we have a fresh picking. Yes, it's true. What is it, Fluff, though? Saints Row, besides, like, what games I'm not sure if you know. You probably know me as well. What kind of games do you think are on my radar? Because I know you're, like, playing that duel game, which seems fun. DNF Duel, which looks cool, but it's not quite my cup of tea. But Saints Row, I don't know if we're going to get Ragnarok this year, because it seems like we haven't heard much about it, and I thought we would have heard something about it in any way. But yeah. I'm sure there are the games coming out. Hogwarts Legacy. Also, I forgot about that. That's huge. But also that people are saying that's gonna get delayed. So, ugh. Ooh, also a lot of Warhammer stuff came out yesterday. It was interesting. One of the cool kind of like a Into the Pits, except Warhammer, which was neat. BC says, I want to create lore for the stream. Now this is you go ahead. I'm enjoying it. I'm not sure if I can keep up, but I'll thoroughly enable you. Okay. Fluff says bots and YouTube streaming also picked up a lot of steam around the time of Genshin's popularity, so it was going to get worse. So yeah, that's been my sense too, which makes sense if you're like a person who's trying to manipulate people and try to get into getting you stuff, whether that's financial thing. I could see them preying upon the addictive personalities of people who give in to gotcha and etc. But unfortunate, unlucky. I don't know how to stop it. Besides the thing that we accidentally did, which finally bore fruit, which is restricting links being spread everywhere. Also, somewhat correlated with the growth of Western VTubers and VTubing of VTuber, especially on YouTube. Weird. It's just because they think it's just like boomers finally like see one article that talks about like a shark and they're thinking these people are nuts, not realizing how cute the shark is, and then being like, hey, these people are crazy. They'll give into this, then whap. Although I wonder if it's that, or if it's just like a bunch of probes. Like I wonder if they just release a bunch of like probes into the idea of like, okay, let's put a bunch of our bots into this community. Let's put it into this community. And I wonder if, because sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that there are VTubers that are kind of, this is an unfair generalization, but there's a sexualized sometimes. I think it's just streamers. There's sometimes streamers that are kind of like adjacent to being sexually provocative, I guess is the best way you could put it. Whether that's like playing into like some anime stereotype or whatever it could be. Largely, most VTubers not that way, but I think when the come up was happening, I noticed a lot. There's that like that seemingly like maybe it's just comfortable with like me having anonymity allows you to kind of not hold back when it comes to being sexual. You don't have to like feel like people are judging you. I know that's the thing with women a lot, is that people perceive that they'll be called sluts or something like that, or some sort of looked down upon, which is unfair. But with the anonymity of this character, then they can kind of say, fuck it, I can, you don't know me, so I can be whoever I want. And if you don't like this version of myself, then tough, But with that, I think they passively started getting some people, which were interested into like the that provocative nature to like being okay with talking about dirty things, talking about like dojins and stuff like that, anime this or that or whatever. But simultaneously, I think that also had probably a high likelihood of one of those probes going out and then being like, ooh, get this or that, and then maybe bearing fruit. Now, granted, I'm not sure. That's my thought, because I just don't see how, if I was the shitty person running these bot farms, that'd be the way I would do it. You'd want to find what is potent. It wouldn't be about like an inference. It'd be about testing. So you'd put a bunch of bots out in the world, and you'd see if any of them bite. And if they bite, then you'd be like, okay, we're going to focus on areas in which similarities, which VTubing being the similarity, or Genshin being the similarity, or any sort of gambling type thing being the similarity, could be the thing. Speaking of the devil, it's been never this bad. It's so fucking much. Fluff beat me to it. Low thinking beat me to it. Sorry, Low thinking beat me to it. About to get killed. But yeah, it's excessive. It's like, stop talking about us. Shit. And it's funny because we're like, what we're doing, by the way, on terms of YouTube moderation, like we're taking away all of the bots' ability to do anything. So yeah, and I wonder if YouTube can, if you are notified in some way that you are blocked. I don't think it's supposed to. I don't think it's supposed to show. It's just basically says your messages are always hidden on this channel. So I wonder if like there's a way for the bots to realize, we keep saying bots, there's a way for the Voldemorts to basically realize that, oh, this is now this is now like, this account is now compromised, turn it off, go to another channel, and yeah. So I don't know, but weird. BC says, your armor is polished blade, sharpened, and tail extra fluffy, Captain. May you have proven your skill in battle, slaughtering those foul hornbots. Love it. Love the hornbot specifically. It's true. These damn bots down bad. I can't say bot. The fucking Voldemort's. Voldemort's down bad. All that. Not sure. There's a lot of releases this month. Monster Hunter Rise, Outriders. Outriders, I'm not sure if I'm juiced about, but we might be bored enough to jump in and try. So I think a spider's bit my arm. I can check my game release calendar to see if there's anything, but July seems to be fairly barren. Yeah, July doesn't seem to be good. October, fucking, is it October? I think it's October. Or August, fucking juiced. So many releases there. Yeah. Beastie says, ready your sword, knights. Enemy has arrived. Beastie is that like really lanky is five. Oh, thank God. Really lanky, tiny guy with like with a banner and a drum, but he's like vibing up the whole goddamn people. You know what I mean, like without him we'd fall. Kind of idea. Fluff says, I mostly meant that streaming on YouTube has blown up alongside the popularity of VTubing, especially with the HoloLive ninjas, the bots found a prevalence. Okay, I know I knew that's what you were meaning, Fluff, but I was wondering, to me, what would be the causality of that? Of like, and to me, it'd be like that they got a hit essentially. So one of the bots, bore fruit, and they can trace the link or the thing that took place. One Valiant, and I wonder what the connection of VTubers to bots, specifically with like horny bots being like, hey, you horny, come over here, being kind of a thing. One valiant slash and the enemy falls to battle he won, yet a war still rages on. Well, let's hope the war chills the fuck out, The Voldemorts have noses, so they spam us to see if they can smell anything. Yeah, man, Voldemort with his non-having ass nose, what a goon. Anyway, also, man, I was watching this shit. It's so funny. And the guy who played Voldemort is so hilarious because of the way he's mannerisms, to where I was watching a fucking podcast of a dude wearing a, god damn it, Voldemort's happening again. Voldemort wearing like a cheap ass like a Halloween mask, but he just nailed the like weird like snake like movements where his hands always open and just like vibing in a weird kind of way. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But nevertheless, what do you call it? That's such a weird character. Also, I don't know, man, did people not like Fantastic Beasts? Because I fucking love that. Like, Newt was a fucking interesting, introverted character, whereas Harry Potter just seemed like if we didn't see him as a kid, if you think about him as a character, we're kind of just, we're into the story because we grew up with him, you know what I mean? But if you think about him as like a character with layers or intricacy, I don't know if he's got that, but Newt is like a freak. Newt is like a socially awkward person, and I was into that. I haven't watched the sequel yet because I just don't go to movies, but I'm into it whenever it comes out. Fluff says, seems like every 2 months for anticipated releases, June, August, and October. Yeah, man, it's the goddamn like summer festivals or summer area into Christmas, just a barrage. And of course, there's too much to play always, every year. It's too much. You're kind of like, oh, shit. Seems like most viewers means more gullibility. People that get accounts compromised. Yeah, that's true. I can see that too. Yeah, just the pure quantity of things. If you have a higher degree of people, although I feel like there's other things that they would go into. I feel like there's like other, other trends that they would jump on quickly. And not to say that they don't. It's just, yeah, I wonder if there's, yeah, because if you were to bet on a trend and you've seen little results from that, but if you were to bet on a type of trend, and that type of trend bore a lot of fruit, then I think that you're like, okay, there's maybe a connection here within the psychology of the brain of why people are more likely to invest in this, in trust, in this process, whereas others won't because of whatever reasons, Are there katana men in this area? I don't think so. I think it's all beasts and whatnot. Huh. I don't think there's any there. I think there's a bunch here. Yes, memory serves. Popular channel tags, etc. The most ripe of spam as well as more eyes. Yeah, for me, man, what we got? Let me see. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Channel tag right now. I think we're still kind of in the weird like. Let me pause the game. I think we're still in our channel where we have tagged for this stream. Jump over here. I think we got, in our tags, we have, I've said the sentence like 5 times. We got GRINN. GRINN spelled with 1 N. We got GRINN, we got GRIM. Because I feel like people will misspell the thing. Or like be like, isn't that a guy? Was it Grim? Probably Grim, not GRINN. And I was like, yeah. Or maybe they see 2 N's, they think M. Anyway. Live streaming, live now. Past broadcast, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Chaos Chambers. That's what we currently got tagged. We probably should put state of play or like game coverage in there. We didn't. Regret. Anyways, but none of that. I don't know why. Streaming maybe? Live now? I don't want to take those away though. Those are, but also those are like super general, like psychotically general. Like, not helpful for what tags are supposed to be, which is to find specific information. Like, a title should be anything that engages or gets people curious about the video. The tags are supposed to be the thing where, like, when you specifically Google how to do something, this is where the video comes up. This is something I'm still learning and finding hard to do without making people annoyed at me for being like, this is such a fucking clickbaity title. And it's like, but what? This whole point was just to get you here. But if you actually have inferences of what the hell's going on, BC says, I'm like a bard telling a tale of a distant kingdom once flourishing without fear flourishing without fear, thrust into conflict from an unknown assailant. I don't know if we'll ever find them, Beastie. I feel like we could maybe make it go away if we stopped using things like live now. And I think, well, what the fuck? What if somebody wants to find the channel, but it's live right now? I also see some people doing some interesting things, like where they put like trending now in like the hashtag, because it makes it maybe like passively it's like, ooh, this is popular. Because that's the other thing that I was learning about in my book. It's called social proof, but basically a lot of us look to what, like laugh tracks. Like people universally dislike laugh tracks within the psychology of people. But way back in the day with opera, there was these things called clackers. And clackers' whole thing were to basically, they were like, everyone knew they existed. You could basically buy people to applaud, to like ask for an encore, and everyone knew they were a thing. But it didn't matter because it was just a part of the business. And the thing that's funny about the whole social proof idea is that it's like it doesn't matter. Like you even if you think it's stupid, your brain will look for like social proof is what it calls. Basically, when you don't know exactly how to react, you'll look to things in your environment to signal you to react in a way. And what do you call it? It's funny because I seen this in a video recently. It's just a little story time with Grin. I went down the rabbit hole and I got really into watching react videos of songs I like, where people kind of talk about the meaning of the song. I watched a bunch of Bo Burnham's Inside. This is the internet reactions. Solid good time, solid night of just goofy fun. But then I started going down the NF kind of like reaction weird thing. Regardless, when it comes to watching Bo Burnham's Welcome to the Internet, which is iconic and lovely, I watched a person who was like a trained musician and keyboard and all these things talk about it. But in the special that he's reacting to, there's like laughter. Not in the Welcome to the Internet. There's also one that's called All Eyes on Me. But anyways, whilst he's watching the show, Bo Burnham being trapped in a room and having made this like stand-up comedy special, which is like music and etc., he added like laughter in it. He added like laugh tracks, despite he's just sitting there quiet in a room, which I'm sure is not good for mental health. But he like when I was watching the video, I seen because I was reading this, is just kind of are aware of certain things. Quickly. But what do you call it? So he sees this person make a laughter basically. So he's watching this song be played by Bo Burnham, and he hears this like joke from him, which is basically like being on stage and having panic attacks, or I was on stage having panic attacks, and pause. That's not a good place to have them. And then he hit with a laugh track, essentially. And it's funny because I seen the guy who is like otherwise being very professional, I seen him literally go like blank face just listening, and as soon as he heard the laughter, like a solid 2 seconds later, he starts like chuckling. And I'm like, oh my god, this is totally what the book means by like social proof and like laugh tracks. And I think this is what every exec, and this is what the book also talks about. But it's like every exec knows that, like, as much as people may find it annoying and find it like, yeah, this is stupid, it does work. Like, there's something in our brains that perceive others and the way they react to be a signifying force for how we should react. And this is fine, largely because, like, you know, sometimes you're looking to how to best handle a situation, especially, basically it increases the less you know about your environment. So the more you're like in an unknown space, the more you're going to look to people around you, kind of like culture, all these things, survival mechanisms maybe, on how to proceed. But what was that tied to? I don't know what that was tied to. What was that? It was tied to something. Regardless, an interesting thing for me when it comes to that book that I'm reading right now. Also, this is what we're looking for. This right here, these samurai books. I think bots just latch on to the starter appear. Yeah, it's true. I think it makes sense when the chats. What do you call it? I think we're in the probing span. So please, for the love of God, people, do not engage in any way with the bots. Do not. Oh shit, Voldemorts. Do not engage in any of the Voldemorts. They are but smoke and mirrors. Okay. Your channel is likely marked as whitelisted by bots. We need a better way to automatically detect blocking. Yeah, that'd be nice. Also, it seems pretty evident. Whenever someone has a name that is literally fucking like 100 characters or something, you're like, come on, you idiot, like, stop it. This is clearly some bullshit. Oh, what's good, Crazy? Crazy says, what's up? What's good, Crazy? Wait, what thing about... don't look at it. Don't look, it's nothing. It doesn't exist. People be crazy. The dreaded hornbots have returned. God damn them. I guess we should spend our resin on something. Because don't we have like a thing for our login bonus where it's like, hey, do that. I don't think these are daily. They unlock daily, but we can get them done anytime, I think. Yeah, it's just complete dishes and such. Drops this 21 event double drop remaining. Well, no one experience books or whatever. Damn it. I guess I don't really have anything to get though today. Okay. We'll do that then. Oh no, everything seems to be doubled. Oh, that's fucking nuts. That's kind of cool. And again, they're trying to get you sucked back into the fucking FOMO. What to do? I guess we could... Does anybody know if Ayato's Best in Slot is the new artifact set that like randomly pops off, or if it's the energy recharge artifact set? Because we'll quickly burn that resin. The ruin of war still smolders. Yet the enemy attacks persist. Our knights handle such an onslaught. Yes, beastie. always. Well, I'll be here. Whether you guys are like, fuck it. That's totally fair and acceptable. Crazy says, least beastie said, I'm sorry, Crazy, I said hi. Crazy says, I see Grin has taken a break from Wonderland. Well, it's not really taking a break, actually, Crazy. We were rocking, we were rocking some PlayStation things, and then it only lasted 26 minutes, and I was like, ooh, and then we could do Wonderlands, or we could do something just to change things up. So, taking a little bit of, I guess a little bit of break makes sense. Did you guys hear that Borderlands 3 has crossplay with PS4, PS4 I imagine now, or PlayStation now? Nice. Oh, that's what you mean, PlayStation, not PS4. Gotcha. PlayStation, nice. BC says, it makes sense. Laughter infectious. It's like the TikTok guy, Ben Telik. Even though the content he reacts to isn't that funny, his laugh alone kind of forces it out. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what do you call it? One of the ones that's interesting, though, and it's something that like the book talks about, which I think if I could like ever give you guys a piece of something that the book told me that's actually pretty useful, is, well, it's two things. One of them is if you are ever in a situation, let me ask you guys a question. If you are in an environment, and you guys are probably going to know the answer just by me asking the question, but if you guys are in an environment with multiple people, so like a public setting, do your odds of being helped increase or decrease? So say if you're surrounded with 30 people, let's say not 30 people, let's say 10, 15 people, you're surrounded by them, maybe it's on the side of a sidewalk. What happens if you were to experience any sort of like thing like heart attack, stroke, something like that? Do you think your odds increase or decrease in terms of being helped? Lozig says, it depends on what you want to build him for. I kind of want him to build, I guess a support would be more. So I guess, energy recharge. I guess that makes sense. Good question, Lozig. I can finally show Grin my build years later now. I want to see. Yeah, I would love to. Well, can you upload it in the Discord? I can see it after the fact, and we can talk to me about it tomorrow. BC says, our king is always ready for battle. His weapon never leaves his side, and still dripping blood. No wonder is enough to stop his pure determination and defend his king. Okay. Increase drastically. What did I wish you gave me more. I forgot the way I phrased it. So you think you have an increase in getting help the more people that are around you? Is that right? Han says, I probably get ignored from the pedestrians passing by. Well, that's the thing. In a lot of cases, one of the best cases that was ever talked about in the book, I think, is there was this thing that happened in New York City where basically this woman got stabbed for half an hour. Basically, the assailant came, stabbed this woman. She was running, screaming throughout her block whilst people were watching her. So 30 people were watching her get stabbed, and the assailant kept getting worried and leaving and then coming back. And back until the woman was dead, and then an hour later, police finally arrived. And the craziest thing was that no one helped. So basically, the answer is you'd think that the more people around you, the more likely you are to be saved. It's actually the opposite. The more people are around you in a public setting, the worse your odds get for someone helping or intervening and helping you. One of the things it's called, one of the reasons why this happens is because it's called social, I think it's called social ignorance is what it's called. Social ignorance. But basically what it is that, what simply put is, when more people are around, the responsibility for you as an individual goes lower. So a lot of people will obfuscate responsibility to other people. So if you're a businessman, you're trucking down the street, and you see a person like collapse on the ground, two things will happen. One of the things is you'll probably be like, that looks a little weird, and you'll look around looking for social proof if anybody else thinks that's weird, because maybe it's just like, oh, it's a homeless man. You walk right by. That guy's dead. You just seen the corpse. So it's not a homeless man, but it's just that people are like, everyone made that assumption because nobody was reacting. And you fed off of each other's non-reaction. Therefore, no reaction. But also, there's the option of people obfuscating responsibility. So people are like, oh, there's 30 people here. I don't need to do anything. Someone else will handle this. And then you walk away, despite that's what everybody does. And the reason why the book has this thing, which is awesome, but basically one of the takeaway of this idea, and this is terrifying, the idea that with more people around, the responsibility for the individual gets incredibly lowered. How do you, if you're ever in a situation, basically, if you're ever in a situation where you were like this, say you get in a car accident on a highway, you could go 2 hours with nobody stopping to help you. The one thing the book suggests is it's not that people are morbid, evil, or cruel, it's people do not know that they are being called upon or are responsible for you. So you literally need to point or say, call out somebody specifically, guy in the red shirt, person in that car, pointing at them saying, call an ambulance. Because people are actually, another thing in the book, which is awesome, it talks about another study, which basically had a bunch of participants. The study was simple. They basically went to a beach, found a random pedestrian, and the researchers basically, one researcher sat down with a boombox and a towel, waited there for a little bit. Then the researcher got up and walked a far distance along the beach. Another researcher came by, grabbed his boombox, and kind of sketchily walked away in a hurry, simulating being stolen. I think out of the 20 people that they did this with, three people did something. They said, hey, that's not yours, or something. So not a lot of help. Very unhelpful. But what happened when the researcher basically did the same experiment, except they changed one thing? When the guy got up to go on his walk, he asked the person next to him, hey, could you watch my things? And then proceeded to go on his walk. And the person said, sure, yeah, I got that, or whatever. Not even like I'll absolutely watch your stuff, but like, okay, something. Like not even giving a response, but like just the idea that, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. Anything like that had an insane uptick where 19%, only one person seemingly didn't do anything. 19% of the people who were asked in such an uninformed way gave so much more. So they, instead of being like half, like, oh, maybe they did a little bit of effort, the people, and this is what the book says, which is funny, people demonstrated vigilante behavior. So people literally ran after the other researcher picking up the boombox and running away. So it's not that human beings are good or bad, it's that human beings do not know when they're being called upon or when they're responsible to do something. And human beings are incredibly action driven if they are felt like they are being responsible for something, whether that's, hey, I'm having a stroke, can you come and watch over me so I don't die? I think most people would be like, oh fuck, okay. But also, if you don't say that, then people will just keep walking by, you know. So if you're ever in a situation where you're feeling like you're having a heart attack, you're having a stroke, you're maybe just got in a car accident, if you can muster any strength, call on an individual person and empower them to be responsible. So say, call 911 you, not everybody else you, because the odds are is that everyone else is going to obfuscate information to others, which is the problem, you know. But yes, thoughts, interest, anything? BC says, yeah, even if you don't stop themselves, I feel like they will at least call the cops. Yeah, but that's the thing that's interesting, Beastie. Yeah. It's interesting. But yeah, but see, that's the thing. People say they're scummy, but they're actually not, because in other instances, in many other instances, Beastie, in the same exact situation, a person, all that they change is that they basically, and they did a test on this within the same circumstance, of basically they took people who were on a highway, they simulated a car crash, or just like no, that wasn't it. They simulated a construction worker being in pain or being in a hazardous environment. So like exposed electrical wires. And they found in the examples where people were literally pointed at, who were driving by, they were the people that immediately jumped out. And even in almost 90% of the cases, they didn't just help the construction worker out of the hazardous environment. Maybe he was like laying down on the ground, grabbing his head or something. Most people would stop and help him if called upon. But the drastic implication was to the extent in which people were willing to help them. And that was intensified by like an exposed, live wire, emitting a frequency right beside the guy. People would drag him away from it, something like that. So people are actually innately really good. It's just people will obfuscate responsibility. And if you think about it, Beastie, social proof is actually, this idea of social proof, we look to others to signify how we should believe, is actually really useful in our daily life, because with our day, with everybody, you're constantly getting overloaded with so many different things. Say if you live in New York City and you're hearing bangs and pops and like a scream down the street, but it's just like a marital dispute, and if you were to intervene, you'd get ripped up by both of the parties. So your brain is constantly getting overdosed with stimulus. So your brain has to start obfuscating some responsibility, or else you'd literally spend 90% of your day fully focused on random shit. Like stuff that you can't do anything with, right? So what you need to do in this instance is you need to start like checking things off the list and making so you don't look at things. So this is just an innate thing with your body you have to do, or else you're going to get trapped. Yeah, I don't know what that was tied to besides the idea that it's kind of a weird consumption or thing. But also one of the things that, to me, and this might be getting into some hot water, which I don't intend it to do, but one of the things that's also connected to social proof, and this is kind of to me, it's a little bit fucky, but I think it's interesting regardless, and I'd be curious what you guys think about it. But with the idea of social proof, of we look to others in a circumstance that is similar to us, for like evidence on what we could do, what we should do. This is kind of the idea also of how most Olympians, whenever they break a record, it is almost immediately the following year broken again. It almost says if as soon as you make a new standard, everyone sees that that's possible and now can hit that. So it's something within human beings that like look to others to kind of determine what is possible. What do you call it? This is something interesting in regards to social proof, that we look to others to determine what we are capable of or what to do in a certain situation. It is amplified if we have less information on what to do in a given situation. There's this connection with social proof and, unfortunately, news and media and things like that. The blunt of it is, they did a study where basically they took a bunch of they found that whenever a suicide was published within a news column, there was an incredible increase in suicidality and also car crashes and plane crashes within the sector in which that newspaper story was released. And it got even more increased when the individual that was being talked about was a celebrity or something like that. And this is what the chapter goes into beforehand, which is basically that the idea that social proof is even more evident when it's based on your range or your similarity. So if you're a grown ass person in a city and you're lost, the odds that you see a child walking somewhere, you're not going to be like, I'm going to follow that child, because you're like, that's not me. If you see like a really old person like hobbling down the street, you wouldn't look to that person as like, that person knows where to go, all that stuff. Or at least it'd be less on your priority list. Now, if that person was like the same age as you or the same clothes as you, there's a higher probability that you would look to that person specifically on what to do. So this is made even more evident when you find people who are similar to you, and a lot of times, and this is kind of the poetic sadness in suicides that exists within musicians, essentially, which is a lot of people when they're going through their teen years will connect with an artist that is making music that they connect to and they have a reverence for. But then they commit suicide, and now that they see that this person that connected to them dearly, that they talked about the same thing that they were going to, that they were going through, that they are similar with, and in this it lies that that to me a kind of a painful truth of like, oh well, now they see that as a potential option. So there's the corollary, or also the one thing that I didn't mention was that there's an increase in whenever there's a story covered in the media about suicides, there's an increase in suicides wherever that story is being covered. There's also an increase in car crashes and plane crashes. The way that can be explained is essentially that people try to get insurance and they find that those are the ways in which they could claim insurance without doing all that. But to me that's like an interesting thing of like, there's a lot of questions right now that I keep hearing about everyone, and I don't know the answers, not even close. But I think that's, to me, something that explains in part something. But the more an idea is introduced to a populace, the more the potential of that idea even being considered as a possible route increases. So there's a thing with certain things happening within our media and etc. And it's not to say that they're not 100% should be looked at and addressed, but I think that could be a causality thing, because I noticed that America has a real proclivity to publicizing horrible atrocities. But anyways, I don't know. That we're getting into a bag of worms. I don't even know if I believe this or that. But yeah, regardless, to me that's something that's interesting. And one of the things that the book has a takeaway about this in this subject is this idea of whenever you're flying, like if there's a story about like certain suicides essentially in the newspaper, don't fly or travel if you can help it in that time, because there's a huge uptick in people like taking their planes and like ramming it into other planes, ramming into us, what do you call it, a highway, etc., just to do these things and claim insurance and stuff. So yeah, but that's the darker side of social proof. There's a lot of other happy ones, like, hey, we look to others on how to react. So if people genuinely are around you laughing, then there's a higher probability that people will enjoy being around you and laugh around you, But again, we need social proof, because this is a good way for us to like not consider every horrible possibility to be horrible. So you're like, oh, that was probably just nothing. Like that statement needs to be said, or else you'll spend your whole life worrying about what that sound was or what the future could be. You need to like, let's back up. Who knows, But Hans got pretty close on he'd probably be ignored by pedestrians, but you don't have to be. Again, it's not that pedestrians will just ignore you, it's that pedestrians will look to others' reactions, and if everyone has made the same assessment of like, well, somebody else will handle it, so I'm going to go to my job. They'll see that person walking away. That'll be social proof of, okay, there's nothing going on here. Okay, must just be nothing. Or maybe that guy's like an actor or something, and they'll walk away too, and they'll just bulldoze of like obfuscating responsibility. And by obfuscating responsibility, everyone sees this as a non-issue, and therefore it becomes a non-issue for a lot of people. Unless you completely, even if you're, that's the thing that was terrible about the woman though, in the New York City, who got stabbed, and like 30 onlookers were watching this happen. She was screaming out for help, but everyone assumed that the other person would call the police, so no one did. So yeah, it's the importance of like giving somebody self-responsibility for their for your circumstance. Yeah. Which to me, yeah, I'm not sure how some of the things in the book are like, oh, this is helpful for just general life. I'm not sure if it's the most helpful for YouTube things. At least not in the way that I want to use it, yeah. But that's one of the ones that I'm like, okay, I'm happy I learned it, but it's kind of creepy, a little bit sad. Oh, but the other thing that was fun about social proof, a positive of social proof, is they did a test with kids that were socially distant, is what they or social not socially distant, basically kids that were like in the grade 3 to 2 range that basically had a very poor social skills, like they didn't want to be a part of social engagements, they were very reserved. And one of the things that they did is they used social proof for this idea of kind of like exposure therapy also, where they basically just made a 20-minute video of kids basically, or kids that were segregated / just by themselves, basically by themselves, loners, basically engaging in a social instance. So like they're sitting on a bench, they're kind of just hanging out, and they see a bunch of friends laughing, and the kids would run over there, and the kids would all be happy that the person joined. They got these little kids to watch this over and over and over again, and this idea of like, oh, people would be happy to see me if I came into the social engagement, and I'm going to expect that, and lo and behold, it helped them be more social. Because yeah, but that again. Oh wait, what the heck? Oh, I don't have anything. Oh, it doesn't work for resin, you rat. Oh, fine. We'll just use condensed resin. Fine. But yes, I'll stop talking about my book. I don't know if it's very interesting for anybody else, but yes. But also, when I talk about it, it lets me kind of calcify the information in your brain. It's another thing that's from like a Harvard study. But basically, if you can explain something to someone else and they can understand it, then it will only further embed your understanding of it in your head, because you're almost in a way explaining it to yourself. You're also having to explain it in a different way that another person can understand that may be different to yours, which creates a new neurological pathway within the brain and increases memory. But yeah, you guys have heard me ramble about that particular weird thing ad nauseum. BC says that makes sense. It's like not getting into it because you're assuming someone else is going to do it. Yeah. Also, it makes sense, like from what Fluff was saying, which is basically the mob mentality, which is basically we look to others on how to feel and react. And especially when, like, this is even more prevalent on, like, the reason why social proof exists is because, one, you have limited information, so you're trying to get a footing. But the other thing is that sometimes people just don't want to think about some things. So you basically find a candidate in which you believe that is similar to you in your same circumstance, and you find the one that makes the most sense to you, and then you kind of hold them up as a monolith of like, well, that makes sense because that's my guy. You know, that's the one that to me has made sense. But sometimes people can be right on some things and wrong on others. So this idea of like obfuscating mental thinking, which you have to do in your life, or else you're going to be, you know, like we talked about, you're going to not have a life, essentially. You're going to be thinking about worrying and all these things. But it does kind of have the idea of like, well, try not to like always look for what other people are thinking and ask yourself if that makes sense, you know. And sometimes it does. A lot of times it makes sense. A lot of times social proof is like pretty good because you're trying to be a good listener and you're like, okay, I guess that's a good perspective of it. And then everyone thinks that so no one, yeah, exactly, yeah, Fluff's got it right on the money. That's direct obligation makes a difference. Yes. Being called a porn is a confession thing. I agree. Wait, what? Being called a prawn is a confessing thing. What's that mean? I'm lost. What that referring to? Not like I don't remember what I said to have that pop it. BC says that's so interesting. Thank you, BC. I'm happy you enjoyed it. Lindsay it says, "Welp, guess who just got Ammo's bow? Let's go. My bow for Ganyu is gonna be so yeah, dude. Oh, you already got Ammo's bow already? God damn you! Well done, man. Lucky find. I think we already burned all of our things. Yeah, so I don't think we have anything yet. Honestly, I think I might. Well, I don't know, man. Like, we already know that the one guy is not a 5-star character, right? So part of me is like, I think I'll try to get Kazuha if he ever comes out, and I'll skip Anima Boy until and like hopefully he'll go in the standard banner, and I'll just spend all my extra wishes on Dare, because I think we haven't spent them all yet. I haven't checked though. Give me my goddamn powers. My cryo powers, energy, all that. This. No, I didn't charge up enough. One more. Good. Oh. BC says, there was something I heard a bit ago about the way news portrays serial killers, almost hyping it up, seemingly so people attach to it and send people idolizing the monsters. Yeah. Well, what do you call it? That to me, it's funny because one of the things that they you know, like the classic don't drink the Kool-Aid thing. It's like the idea that cult basically all committed like mass suicide. Well, people always attribute that to like the charisma of this guy, which to BC's point, it's almost like a glamorization of this monster. But at the same time, people, behavioral psychologists and also just psychologists in general, actually, at least in my experience within this book, seem to not attribute it to his like charisma or like that, but seemingly attributes it to him basically taking his cult into an environment in which they were like in the middle of nowhere. So they had like no social ties, they had no money. So what happens is all he needed was like 2 or 3 people who believed in his insanity. And then people, again, the idea is this chapter is building on the idea of social proof. So, what do you call it? The idea that people were in a faraway land. They didn't know, how to get back necessarily. They were kind of scared, and they were looking to others on how to best react, kind of like the opposite of what mob mentality would be, except, like instead it's like, following another's, one singular person's, belief. I guess that is also mob mentality, can be. But anyways, they attribute to why so many people, quote unquote, drank the Kool-Aid, not because he was charismatic, but because 1 or 2 people did that maybe were like devoted followers who he like brainwashed over the years. They did, and then everyone else looked at that as like, oh, well, then that's something that we all can do, because everyone describes them as like being almost zombie-like everyone was possessed, who like people who would normally not do things did them. And that's the same kind of idea that people talk about when it comes to people who participate in mob mentality, of like people who would talk about like a kid who had no mean will at all turning into a monster because it's what everyone else is doing, Same reason why like people smoke cigarettes. It's like a lot of it is human beings are socially induced to do things, to believe certain things, And that's not even that just within like, you know, negative instances. That's in culture. Some things people are like super used to within their culture, and then other people are lost about that being a thing in a culture, you know? I can remember where I heard it from, or I can't remember where I heard it from, but they were talking about how they could possibly change it in a way where they were making them out to be infamous. Yeah, I've heard Philip DeFranco talk about that quite a lot, where he talks about the idea, like he never shows serial killers or shooters, anybody, not their face, not their name, because it kind of just incentivizes the infamy of it all, which I agree with. I think that's a good rule of thumb. BC says, but to tell of these crimes is more a boring way so people would be aware, but they wouldn't see it in a way that would seem cool, but as more of a warning, as something to look out for. Well, that was the interesting Beastie. Like to me, that's the thing, is in the way the story writes it out, is it's not even. Like, a lot of this is not, like, everyone in the book, it seems like, everybody has the preconceived conception of themselves as being, like, not a part of the idea. Or, like, I get it, but, like, not me. Like, that seems to be the thing. Or, like, I would catch it. Like, a lot of people there's a thing where people would basically say, another thing with, not social proof, it's called authority, basically. But basically, they did a test where they basically took a very expensive, like, Lamborghini, like, supercar, and they went to a stop sign, or they went to some sort of like traffic instance, and in this traffic instance they basically got the person to not move, and they would basically waited to see how many people would honk. So they got a normal car to do this as well. So they got an expensive supercar, and they got a normal car. Normal car almost immediately got honked at to like move or to do something. In all of the examples with the supercar, almost nobody honked at the supercar at all, to like hurry up. And it's this idea of that like human beings have this proclivity to seeing people in a state of authority and complying with that said authority. Like the idea is that if you were to talk to somebody and you were having a fun time with them, you're being a little loosey-goosey, all crazy, and then you find out that they were like a professor or like a teacher or something. There's a high probability, at least based on all the studies I've seen, that you would become, at least in some way, more reserved. Like you treat them as like, oh, okay, that authority, that title does something to the brain that almost gives them more credibility, more title. It's the same reason why, like, have you ever considered how insane and how easy it is to manipulate like a uniform? Like that's something the book makes apparent, which is like one of the ways con artists makes a crazy, good living, etc., is basically by using like a police uniform. So like the idea, if you think about how insane it is that we trust this uniform and everybody who dons it, because think about it, if someone in the police uniform came and asked you to do something, your first thought wouldn't be like, show me your identification, and would you know what to do with it? No. We just kind of autopilot and we go, okay, as long as it's not like super egregious, like tell me to murder somebody. Tell me to go over there and like not come into this room, okay. An investigation, sure, I know what that means. Like people will just obfuscate and trust the idea of authority despite that's just a bunch of clothing, or like that's just a title. Like if somebody's convincing enough, and this is also the whole thing about like the idea of all of these points of influence is kind of what they're kind of called about. But these points of influence are basically, as long as the person can convince you that they're acting in good faith and not bad faith, which is kind of general, but it kind of acts to the point of like, well, wait, you just have to understand that this is this or that, and your brain will kind of do a lot of work for you. But yeah, I don't know. I find this stuff kind of goofy and interesting. But before I leave you guys, I wanted to do one more. If you could just, because it's one more thing that's interesting about the idea of authority. It's a test. Let's go somewhere special, calm, serene, chill, good vibe, all that. Let's go. Let's go here. Wait, no. Where's the place I'm thinking about? It's like on a mountain. This place? It's this place. All right. BC says, our warriors point. Our warriors on point today. I'm doing my best. Also, yeah. Let's do this. Take this. we'll watch Gon, You Be Cute while I ramble at you one more time. So, one last thing I thought would be interesting to talk to you guys about is the idea. Also, why is it doing that? Zoom in. She's focusing, all right? She's getting real into it. Why is it doing that? Oh, whatever. Good enough. Okay, so one last thing I want to talk to you guys about this thing in the book I'm reading. It's called, it's a really interesting part of it, I think. It's a study. And this is regarding authority. So this principle that basically human beings will look to others who have a perceived authority in an almost autonomic response. So basically, again, if person came up to you dressed as a cop and told you like, hey, could you go over there or like get out of this area where it's an investigation or something, would you second guess it? Most people would. Most people would just do it automatically. Like, oh, I trust that person. He's in a point of authority, despite it's just uniform. People could lie, etc. But that's the idea, is that you kind of obfuscate responsibilities. You do the same thing with your parents. You do the same thing with your teachers usually. You do the same thing with your boss. Any person that you perceive to have a person of authority, you kind of obfuscate thinking and just trust in their wisdom and or authority. So the last thing, there basically was a study, and it reads like a nightmare. Basically, you find this study in a book or in a newspaper. The study is basically talking about how they're doing this experiment in regards to memory. There's a phone number below it. You reply to the phone number, and you ask if you could be a part of the study. The person says yes. You go into the study, and you are met with a researcher with a lab coat and a notepad, and you are with another civilian, essentially. And they basically tell you that there's going to be two types of people. There's going to be the teacher, and there's going to be the learner. And they're basically trying to see the correlation between pain and memory retention. Now, you may get a little freaked out about this if you were this person going into this call. So then they strap you down and they tell you that you're going to be the learner. So they're going to get you to read a bunch of questions and the answer keys to all of them. And then they're going to strap you down, and then they're going to attach some probes to you. And then they're going to tell you to basically sit there, and then there's going to be a person in the teacher role, which will be asking you the questions, and every single time you get a question wrong, you're going to get a zap, and it's going to increase exponentially every single time you get a question wrong, seeing if the correlation of more pain would force you to remember somehow better. So then they strap you down into a chair, and of course at this point the book makes a good joke about, like, you'd ask like, well, how bad's the shock, and the person would reply, oh, well, it's not enough to do any nerve damage, but it does get painful, and that doesn't do anything for you. You're probably worried, but you're like, you know what, I'm here, I came all the way here, fuck, I guess we'll do this. Also, it's a test by Stanford. What are we doing? Of course, they're going to take care of me. Anyways, so you stand, you're in the chair, you're strapped in, you have probes attached to your arms, and of course, they start reading questions to you. And of course, as you start getting the questions wrong, you start getting zaps. And of course, they're not too bad at first, but then they exponentially increase and become more painful. It goes on and on and on until you start to notice that you keep getting more and more wrong, and the zaps are getting more and more painful. Finally, you pause and you say, "Okay, I'm ready to stop the experiment. Get me out of here." The shocks are getting too much. Can we leave them there or something? You go to the next question. You don't get a response from the researcher or anything like that. All you hear is the other civilian who is in the teacher role, because you're in the learner role, asking you more questions. Eventually, the pain doesn't seem to subsist. It gets worse. You start to panic and you get less good at remembering. And you say, "I want out of this. I want to stop. Can you like let me out of the strap down chair?" And then you hear the person, the teacher voice you've been hearing, the other civilian, ask you another question. And you start to panic at this point. You keep getting zapped, and regardless of whatever you try, basically you cannot get out of the chair, and you keep getting zapped every single time. If you plead, it is only fallen on deaf ears, and then you have another teacher voice coming through asking you another question. And to the point where you are screaming ad nauseum in pain and horror, and you keep hearing this teacher's calm voice say. And eventually, the learner, you at this point, is now basically null and void, hollowed eyes, and basically just sitting there, not reacting, in the hopes that wouldn't, in terms, worry the others to make them stop zapping you. Ultimately, you go to the max voltage, and this study is basically concluded. Now, funny thing is this study was actually done, but of course it's a kind of classic thing with the book. It baited you out. So the thing is, the catch with this study is it's not a study about memory, as you might have guessed. It's a study about what are people who are in a scenario in which they determine it to be their job are willing to go to the lengths to complete that job. In regard specifically to pain and suffering. So basically, if you had a job, what is the extent in which you are willing to achieve that task of that job if the counterpoint is pain and suffering? So this test actually was a thing, except significantly less morbid, and let me tell you why. There's not a researcher, a teacher, and a learner. There is a researcher that is in the position of the learner who is getting shocked, who's answering the questions and getting shocked, not actually getting shocked. There's no electrical. So there's basically two researchers, and they're trying to see if the person in the teacher's role who is asking the questions to the learner, and who eventually the other researcher, the learner, starts getting them wrong, will they keep going on with the thing? So they want to see, will a person in the teacher role who's asking questions and basically putting shocks while the researcher is increasing the voltage, will they keep hitting the button and asking the questions? Will they keep doing the experiment? They wanted to see how many people would do this. And of course, there's no electrical stuff happening. It's just a guy, another researcher in a chair who the teacher thinks is the learner. So it's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors because they want to see. And of course, the learner isn't just a learner. He's a researcher that is also an actor. So he's basically playing up the idea of getting shocked by these probes, and then of course screaming out eventually and selling it really well. Anyways, so the point of the thing was to see how much the teacher is willing to deliver in terms of pain. So how much is he going to keep saying, hey, here's some more pain, here's some more pain, here's the next question, here's some more pain. Turns out almost every single one of them, out of like I think 40 people that were done this test to, everyone in the teacher role went almost all the way to conclusion. In fact, I don't think there's almost anybody who actually resisted. Now, this was incredibly morbid at the time, especially this was done by Harvard, I believe, this study. And everyone freaked out. Everyone was like, this is awful. Like, and people tried to have excuses of why this could have happened. You know, these people were social miscreants. These people were like cruel. These people maybe were men, and men have a degree of, aggression that women wouldn't, or whatever it could be. They basically went back and they tested all of these with women. Same thing. Women were the same level of compliance in this way. But then the question becomes: is it just like the cruelty of humanity or something? And it wasn't. The one polarity that they found was that there was basically this thing with authority. So basically, each one of the teachers weren't just maliciously sitting there hitting the buttons and asking the questions. They started to basically become horribly sick. They started to look pale. They started to ask if they could stop the experiment. They started to dig their hands into their nails into their hands. They started biting the lips to the point where they would bleed. So they were clearly in huge distress, but they never stopped the experiment. They never stopped listening to the researcher who basically says, continue with the experiment. So it basically, the takeaway is that it wasn't the social miscreant, these bad people, but it was that their commitment to this authority, this guy's running this experiment. If I don't hold up to him, then it won't work, or then I'll be responsible, or I trust his judgment, or it's not my fault, it's this. And it's funny because there's other polarities that if this instance doesn't make sense to you, you're like, I wouldn't do it. There's another instance that would. There's plenty of soldiers that talk about having to do a horribly atrocious acts because that's their orders. So they are ordered to do something. So as long as there's a higher power ordering you to do something, then you tend to obfuscate responsibility off of yourself and just do it. But that doesn't mean you're not compromising your beliefs, your ideals, your person's ability to believe and act about your beliefs. But it was just an crazy amount of compliance and disregard for your own beliefs and structure about all this. And there's plenty of examples of in medicine back in the day, even more now maybe, there was a big degree of authority placed on doctors regardless of nurses. So nurses there's a hierarchy, basically. There's a hierarchy within medicine where doctors are seen as the absolute, and nurses are considered to be like automatons, despite them having training as well. But basically, there's a study, or not study, there's an example of to the extent in which this is kind of madness, but basically a doctor was writing a prescription for a person for eardrops, but he summarized the word for ear infection or something like that and put ARE or something and reduced it. But point being is was this weird thing where he basically, sorry, Little Savage, you're coming in a weird time. But basically he abbreviated it, and the nurse perceived the eardrop like protocol essentially to basically mean put ears in his arse essentially. So it's like this horribly known thing within medicine where like this nurse and patient both just accepted that like, oh, the doctor knows best, and literally administered eardrops into a patient's aim. So like it just shows the insanity of all that. Oh, also, by the way, the test about the like the zap test with the memory fake out, they found the conclusion of that was the authority figure, basically the scientist in the lab coat, like taking notes, hovering above the teacher. And yeah, basically if they took him away or anything like that, then the person would stop. If they put two researchers in authority, one was saying stop, the other one was saying go. They basically, if there was no conclusion on which one was a higher authority, like if someone was the manager or something of the research development plan or thing, then basically eventually it would go back into the person's subconscious, and they'd be like, okay, now I'm acting autonomously through my own action. But it kind of is a testament to how like so many people, like soldiers, how like certain medicines, how many problems happen just because people obfuscate responsibility. And honestly, it's not even their fault. Like sometimes it's demanded. Like sometimes it's like, but also the idea of like trusting in an authority, not even just like police, but like the idea of trusting in like an expert is also a thing that's actually sometimes really valid. Like sometimes you're insufficient, especially as a child, which is also the basis of why we have this click war response, this kind of like autonomic, like passive response to authorities, because we grow up with teachers, with parents, in which we need to pay attention to their lessons, or else we'll be screwed over for the rest of our lives almost. So there's a good reason to like listen and give people the authority over this or that. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. Also, it's a little bit terrifying, the idea that like so many people can obfuscate responsibility. Like there's another example in the book, I don't want to go into it, but basically like a guy was protesting against the Vietnam War by like laying on tracks where they were transporting stuff, and the generals basically gave all the civilians and like soldiers and such on the train go ahead just to push through the protesters. And the guy couldn't get off the track fast enough, and they severed his legs. Because the fucking soldiers were just given orders, they were given orders to not help the guy either. So you weren't supposed to like give him medical assistance, despite there was a soldier that was a medical soldier on there. They also weren't able to transport him. They weren't able to help the guy who got his legs severed, the protester, in any way, because they had orders not to. And its funny thing is that the guy who got his legs severed wasn't actually angry at them. He was actually angry at the generals, because he was a Vietnam soldier, which is why he was protesting. And he said that these people on the train were doing the same thing he did in Nam, which is basically just doing orders, doing horrible things that people told me to do because I was told that they were the authority, etc. Brutal. But the funniest thing about that whole story is that the people on the train that ran over this guy's legs sued him for making them do it, because he wouldn't get out of the way, and he made them traumatized. And that's why the story is like known as absolute nonsense. Like it's crazy. The extent in which people are willing to, like, again, they don't think themselves responsible. They see it as like, why do you make me do that? Because it's not like when you're in a position of authority, people don't think of it like not being done. They think of it like, well, I have to do it, and you're making this hard for me. Where it's like, well, no, you don't have to do it. I think that's gotten better. I'd like a lot of the things in the book, I think, but this is the thing that I'm worried about with the book. To me, I want to say that, like, I think with the internet and with social media, a lot of us have a built-in kind of resistance to a lot of the fuckery that exists within, like, seemingly this kind of culturistic, like what's basically called an autonomic response. So basically it's like a passive idea that you don't even know you're doing it, but you do it. But at the same time, one of the things that they make a very, very apparent throughout the entire book is that every single person perceives themselves to be lower on the compliance spectrum, I guess, than they actually are. Even when used against them, like even when like plenty of tests where they look at the connection of like liking in regards to attraction. So if you are more compliant, if you like people more based on them being attractive or not, essentially, and they were able to test, and everyone basically gave the answer of like, no, I wouldn't value something more because it was an attractive person by it. Which is why, again, like if you look at our advertising, our media, it's always like a beautiful woman beside a car, beside a Harley Davidson. It's or by what do you call it? If there's a watch, it's a handsome man with a suit. So like clearly these things still work to this day, or else they wouldn't be using them. But it is one of those things where like even me, I find when reading the book, I'm like, oh, but I wouldn't fall for that. And the thing is that the book does give you like countermeasures for all of this, like ways that you can kind of break these mental loops and find them ahead of time. But regardless, this is kind of like a test pilot thing, because I'm going to make a whole video about the book I'm currently reading, which is all about that. Like you're basically passive brain doing a lot of heavy lifting when you might otherwise not want it to. And again, the one thing I'm constantly contending with is the idea that, oh wait, I don't think this is something that most people react to, but that's also something explicit within the book, is that most people don't think that they automatically respond in these ways, but they do. Because they have so much data coming in that they kind of have to act in these like pre-programmed kind of executions to do these things, which I think we're all guilty of, because we have so much going on all the time that we kind of have to find a way to kind of parse out the nonsense. But yeah, but in that can also have a bad reaction to like certain things. But yes, also still Savage. Sorry to not talk to you too much, buddy. I wish I could talk to you about it. I wanted to wrap up my train of thought because we're already kind of over time here. We streamed for 3 hours. This one actually didn't feel that crazy, but also I was talking about the book I was reading, which helps a great deal. Because it's one of the things I'm actually, like, I find my brain like, okay, how do we piece this together? How do I make this make sense to others? But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Again, what do you call it? The next stream that we do. Oh, I don't have it open. But basically, I think, maybe I can find it. Basically, we were checking out the PlayStation conference, state of play kind of thing. Just a little bit. It was just VR and then indie games, but it was fun. I love reacting and hanging out with you guys while watching some cool gameplay stuff. That's what we're looking for, that. I hit F11. Hit F11, damn you. We're at F9, there we go. There we go. What do you call it? I don't know if we should watch this Summer Game Fest. We've got live action cross-industry showcase of announcements and games hosted by Jeff. Okay, we'll probably watch this. Right? You guys want to watch this with me? I don't know if you guys want to watch this with me. Do we got another one? I just killed you, dude. Get out of here. Holy shit. Fuck me. So much bots. But yes, I don't know if we should, yeah, it's, what is it, 9th? We got a little bit of a grace period before that. We also have a Let It Die, or Deathverse to play again, because it's going to come back, I think, next Saturday or something? Or this Saturday or something? Little Savage says, hey guys, what's going on? We just talking about my book I'm reading currently, about like autonomic responses, called Influence. Little Savage says, what's up? Been a while. I've been deep into Elder Scrolls Online lately. Goddamn. The wife got me. Ooh, dude, that's how it starts. They pull you in. That's funny though, dude, because I know a lot of women who actually like go hard into those kind of like MMOs, which is funny. But yeah, it's like it's like either indie games or like MMOs. I find a high probability of all the female friends I have being driven to those. Beastie says, hell yeah, great. Thank you, Beastie. Aside from Hornbot, Matt. Yeah, man, this is crazy. Let's watch. Okay, let's watch. Okay, June 9th, boys. We're gonna do that. What time? What would we do a stream even if we're not doing it that time? What is the June 9th? What is June 9th day-wise? This. Jump over here. June 9th is it's next Thursday, actually. Look at that. Next Thursday, also the 12th. So we're going to be streaming next Thursday, the 9th and the 12th. Because Xbox Showcase happens on the 12th. We're going to see probably some, the new Bethesda game. What's it called? It's like a weird space game. anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yes, tomorrow I think we're gonna try to tackle that Eldritch horror dating sim game together as a unit, as a people. Okay. But this has been fun. I wish it was a little bit longer in terms of the state of play. But thank you so much for spending some time with me. Thank you so much specifically for the people who listen to me ramble about the book I'm reading currently. I expect a video of it eventually. It's one of those things that is super complex, though, like to talk about everything, because it's hard to tell you someone like there might be something in your brain that in regards to reciprocation, basically, that has an autonomic response within your brain. And some people could be like, what? No. But in order for me to explain that this could possibly exist, I have to explain all the examples that it could exist in and the ways it could exist within your brain. So it kind of is a hard sell because I need to give you guys a lot. But even then, I don't know if anyone wants a lot, but I think it's more for me, just explaining it so that I can calcify it within my head. And also that I can go back and watch that video so that I can kind of reformat it in my head if I ever forget it. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope I can see you again. I will upload a video shortly here. I'll go make the thumbnail, and it'll be uploaded shortly. Thank you kindly for your time, and goodbye, my friend.